There we go. All right.
There we go. What's up, Jason? I seem to be screwing things up every week now. I don't know.
No, that one was all me. That was all me.
Well, I was also muted, so that's okay. I guess we can all make mistakes. Whatever. I'm so glad this isn't network television because they'd have fired my ass by now. Oh, well, what are you going to do? How are you doing this week?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Not as good as I could have, obviously. We both Michigan fans.
Hard day.
Lions shit the bed a little bit this week. And those...
Thought we were going to do it, and then at the last moment...
You know, I got to say... I will say this. First, there are some teams that they tend to have the other team's number.
Mm-hmm.
And Seattle, for whatever reason, they're not rivals, but Seattle seems to have the Lions number.
Yeah.
Way more often than not, right? So for whatever reason. Now, the Lions should have won this. And, fair play. Geno Smith, that piece of crap, played well. But our top guys were out. The top receiver was off the field with cramps. The top running back got carted off the field.
Right.
And then the lineman, Vaitai, he got injured.
Right.
It was just like, what is happening? The best players at all the key positions are going down. So, whatever. I think we win. With those guys in there, healthy, we win. But whatever. It is fair play to them, whatever. They did it again. Oh, geez. Look at this. We got a Seattle fan here coming in.
Oh, God.
Oh, what was that? Oh, I'm sorry. And she also has, for those of you who don't know, Karen is not only a Seattle Seahawks fan, she actually she's, I think, the only person in America who bought a Geno Smith jersey. So I will give props to you, Karen. Props, okay? All the props in the world for having the Geno Smith jersey. The man played well today. You won. Good job. I'm trying to be a good sport. There we go. Oh, Jesus. Look at that. What an asshole. Oh, smart.
Thanks, Karen. Thanks.
I wouldn't like it was like a 1-score overtime win. I wouldn't say they smoked the Lions or he smoked the Lions. Whatever. Take the win. Right. Be happy and take the compliments, all right? And just go away with the compliments. Yeah, all right, be happy.
And thanks, number one Marvel fan. Yeah, I've got Star Wars stuff out. So
wow, the first guy in. My buddy Paulie P. What's up, Paul? Good to see you. Awesome. So cool. Number one Marvel fan, like White Snake once said. Here I go again. On your own. What's up? Good to see you, man. Rick Welch, good evening all. Good evening to you. Hey, guys, another interminable long Heritage auction this afternoon. Oh, they just get longer and longer. I didn't watch at all, so I saved myself the sort of hassle. Might still be going on. I'm not sure. It probably is, actually. I think in the past they have gone until like 8 o'clock, so don't know. Good Sunday to you, honey. Good to see you. As always, supportive in the chat. Thank you. Hello. I'm not going to put Karen's hellos since she's being a bit boastful tonight. Hey, Marcus, get ready for a cry fest. For what? Because all these Michigan teams did bad, or the Lions did bad. Yeah. But I got this jersey on tonight because they're gonna smoke Miami, baby. Yeah. Hopefully. I better not be speaking too soon. Getting ahead of myself. Dwayne's a pain, the Oklahoma kid. What is up, sir? Ron Shepard. Hello. Down the art rabbit hole. Yes, but at least you don't get tempted to buy anything. I mean, you probably, knowing you will see stuff tonight, and you're gonna wish you could buy it for sure. But at least you can't buy it, and that's the nice thing. So Barry Sanders is greater than Barry White. I would agree. I do love White's voice,
Yeah.
But I'm not, I'm not some huge fan where I can name off a ton of Barry White songs, But
Right.
Barry Sanders, definitely better, greater than Barry White, for sure. Thank you, Rick, for letting everyone know that. Ruben, the drive down memory laner. Greetings. Wow. Jeff Wedding. What's up, Jeff? Holy crap. You coming in to stay tonight? It's been a while since you stayed for one of these. And look at all these hellos back and forth. I go, wow. Marcus gets involved with Karen. What's happening? Oh, a lot of cross helloing tonight. Dwayne's a pain. Ooh, howdy, Karen. Wow, she's popular tonight. I don't know what happened because her team won or something. What's up, Aranga? Hey, what's up? Good to see you, man. I haven't had a chance to talk to you lately, but congratulations on the success that you've been having at the conventions you've been attending. I just wanted to let you know that. I intended to kind of leave you a message. I couldn't decide, do I do it on IG or email? So you know what? I don't need to do it now. I just told you. So in all seriousness, man, keep it up. Keep it up. You're doing great, and it's great to see great things happening for you. So John Brown, what's up, John Brown? Good evening. And Vivian says, welcome back, Jason. There we go. And,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Barry Sanders is greater than Knox Berry. That's for sure. Again, oh man, look at all these Hawaiian spooning. For anybody who doesn't know, Aranga and Jeff, they like to spoon together in the same bed when they visit conventions and whatnot. So that's what that's all about. I'm out on that. I need my own bed. I don't mind sharing a room, but I ain't sharing my bed. Let's see, at least not with a dude. Sports ball. Yeah, sports ball, yes. Well, if that time of the month cramps happen, oh my gosh, why would you say that, Marcus? Wow, that's bizarre. That's a bizarre comment. All getting injured. Yeah, exactly, CJ. Not enough off-season organized sessions, hammy injury. What are you going to do? AW is a win is a win. A win is a win. Oh, not for Jason and me.
Right.
That sucked ass. Even though I own an Ewok village, every time I see
behind me.
Oh, okay.
I
get it. No. Let's see. Hoarder's Hide. What's up, Scott? I was backup bidder on a piece today. Wow. I know better than to bid live. It's getting harder and harder to pick up pieces. Was it a Spectre piece, though? And who's flipping? Who's flipping? Who's flipping art, man? Good evening to you, Caesar. Hey, been a little bit. Good to see you. And Paul, no, regarding my Art Rabbit Hole comment message. Oh, about the premise of your show for tonight. Oh, art you sold that has not been seen again. Yes. Yeah, but still, what I said still goes, I think. I think you're probably going to see stuff that you wish you could buy. That still goes. Oh, Marcus is fighting us. Not true. Barry White resulted in more children being born than Barry Sanders. Yeah, but Barry Sanders rushed for way more yardage than Barry White ever walked in his entire life. So
unless there was food involved, then he might have walked farther.
Hard to say. Yeah, it's hard to say. It's true. Tom Katalowski, what's up? Good to be here. Awesome. I'm glad to have you here, man. Good to see you. Yes, Caesar, you'll be in and out, and you already hit the like. I appreciate that. Thank you. Everybody, please, if you're here already, please just hit that thumbs up. Would really appreciate it. It doesn't take any effort. Thank you very much. Jeff says a bet isn't even necessary for them to spoon together. Wow, they're willing to spoon anywhere. That's wild, man. You guys are really wild, and you're both married too. That's very interesting. Maki Poo Poo, Michael, how are you? Hello, good to see you again. Thanks, Ruben. Sir Doff too much. Good morning, Mark. Good morning to you. Lovely to see you here again. Always, of course. It was a Spectre piece. Okay. Good day, David. How's Oz? Traveling to Jamaica with the missus. Wow. At the airport right now, about to board. You're watching from the airport. You're awesome for all that.
Safe travels.
Yeah, safe travels. See how devoted your fans are, Ruben. Yeah, Ruben the Collector on United Airlines app. Nice. I do always appreciate that. And I've said it a million times. So thank you, David. That's very, very sweet of you. I really do appreciate that. That's awesome. But please, pay attention to the missus. Don't be, don't ignore her for me. I will be okay with that if you pay attention to the missus. You should. Concurrence. He concurs. Barry White's yardage is pipe lady. Nice. Okay. Nice. Yeah, come on. That sucks. There's the 9 of you haven't hit the thumbs up. Please hit the thumbs up. It's not much to ask, really. I'm not even asking you to subscribe. Okay, I never do that. Okay, hit the thumbs up at least, please. And Karen's back. Oh, wishing somebody, well, David, have fun. Okay, excellent. So, with the news, everybody, real quick before we get to the art. Just real quick, shout out to my newest sub, the only guy whose name I could see this week, Mr. Collector123, who actually was here as a supporter last week of Jason Richardson, aka Southern Comic Geek. So thank you, Mr. Collector123, appreciate that. And jumping back into the comments, I just want to let you all know, those of you who still haven't subscribed or follow Karen's channel, Karen's being a little wise-assy tonight, but you should still click that link if you haven't done so already and watch her latest video. She did one of those prognosticating videos on this weekend's auction. So now you can actually, now that you've seen the auction, or those of you who have, I actually haven't. Those of you who have can now go back to remind yourselves of her prognostications on the video to see how well or not well she did. And I'm going to have to go through the auction results first before I can do that. And hopefully I'll have something to laugh about, laugh at you about, Karen. But we'll see. You're getting really good with that stuff. So I'm not getting my hopes up too much. You're very welcome. You're very welcome, David. Our pleasure. And Mike, don't hit the thumbs up until I see some. Nice. Okay. I don't believe you, but then again, I wouldn't be surprised. You're very welcome. Oh, you were pretty close. You ruined it for me though. I want the surprise to be there. Market seems like it's softening. The comics more than the art. But hey, speaking of art, everybody, just real quick. And I say this, I wanted to bring this up just because my friend Vito, my local, very good friend, local to me, he's my traveling partner to football games at the conventions. He just brought this to my attention like less than an hour ago. Let me see if I can get my share screen function to work good this time. Let me see here. Share screen. Check that out. I don't know who, it's clear. We all know that there's some collectors out there who have more dollars than cents. Okay, we all know that, right? But even still, sometimes there's a piece you see sell and it really makes you think, why would you do that? Like, why? Okay? So we're talking, everybody, approximately $10,000. Why? Okay, $10,000 almost worth of why. Okay, and I'm serious here. Let's be serious. I know we can all joke around, especially when you see it. Scott's really going to want to joke around, and probably a lot of you, and a lot of you are probably going to think I would have bought this piece for obvious reasons when you see it. Oh, here it is. It's going to work. But please tell me. Let's joke all you want when you see it. But then I want some serious answers as to why. I don't care who the artist is. This is outrageous. Okay, here we go.
Good Lord.
Yes, you are not mistaken, Jason and everyone else. This is in fact a published drawing of Hitler sitting on the toilet taking a dump as he's reading a Superman comic book. Who cares that he's holding Superman comic book though? My issue is 10 grand for an image of Hitler taking a dump just because Jim Lee drew it.
I don't know. I'd probably put that in the foyer of my house, of my mansion. If I had that kind of money, you know, then you put it right when people walk in the house, really framed big.
Oh man!
Build your whole house around it. Make it the focus of your house.
Oh my gosh, man! Okay.
That definitely has to go in a bathroom. I mean, if you're gonna buy that,
yeah. We're getting the laughs from people clearly who didn't see that piece, I guess. Oh, you okay? So Oranga knew it. Okay, wrong art piece. Yeah, apparently he does. But come on, man. It's friggin' Hitler and taking a crap. Like, come on, people. $10,000? Really? Yeah, someone always does come up with a justification. Like, it's just issue 1, page 1. Who cares? That doesn't matter. It's nothing to do with it. Somebody really just liked, I guess, the idea of Hitler's taking a crap. Look at that, you know? Listen, for me, it's Hitler taking a dump. It's more about the pricing, right? I don't care who it is. But to me, it's like you blew $10,000 for stupidity like this, right? To me, if it was like $500, okay, even I'd buy it on a lark just because it's some stupid, funny thing, you know, taking a dump, Hitler taking a dump, you know, you'll get a few laughs out of it for $500, okay. But $10,000? Come on, man. Yeah, the seller probably is. I wonder what the seller paid for it originally.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it was even 2K. I would think it was like $1,000 or something. I don't know. George Costanza approved. Scott, that does check a lot of boxes. For you or for me? I don't know. People will buy a T-shirt with a mugshot. What do you mean a mugshot? A mugshot of Hitler? I mean, I've never seen that. No words. Yeah. I mean, first appearance of Hitler by Jim Lee. That's the thing, though, Mike. It's not. Hitler's been in comics many, many times before. Mein Kampf, mein Krapf. Yes, he's having his crap. That's for sure. Pretend it's J. Jonah Jameson.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't know. I mean, birth of Hitler is 432,567th third. Nice. Hey, Derek, what's up, man? A mugshot of Trump. Oh, okay. Oh, you thought it was JJ at first? That's awesome. They'll buy anything to be edgy. Yeah, but Marcus, dude, come on, $10,000 though. That's killing me. 999 to Fiverr. That's awesome. Coprophilia. Okay, now we're okay. Really don't understand the mindset of the first appearance collector. Apparently, I don't, Mike. Apparently, I don't. But it's not the first appearance, unless you're calling it first appearance. You know, first time that Hitler takes a crap in comics. Yes, you know, but that's an event. It's not a first appearance. It's just it's a first event. You know. But anyways, yeah, that's wild. So I'm going to stop sharing. Let me come back to you like this. We feel a little bit closer to everyone this way. And Hembeck does draw better than these. Yeah, Rick. Yes. Yes, exactly, Marcus. 9,000 too much. Exactly. Whatever. I would like to know who. I would like to see that guy post this and see his description about.
I'd like to know if there was like a lot of bidding going on, like how many people were after that to drive it to that price. How many people were after that piece?
That's true because we know that it's at least 2.
Right.
It's at least 2, so that's crazy. But can you imagine if it was even more than that? You know, like it's wow. Well, that piece certainly sets a mood, doesn't it? I don't know what mood it sets.
It's all downhill from here.
Yeah. Well, no, after that, it can only go uphill.
Uphill, okay.
The first thing I noticed is that the toilet paper roll is on backwards. Nice, Tom. You're one of those people. NFT material, certainly. Is that market still alive? Because I haven't heard anybody talking about it for a while. Comic Art Boston, good to see you as always. Take care of yourself as well. Yes, I hope you're doing well.
Okay.
And posted, I thought that was black hole art. It probably will be.
See you, Cab.
And Karen says hello and hey cab by Paul. Oh, do take care, Jason. Do take look at that. Do take care, Jason. Love,
but I think it might have dropped off. Maybe he was going to say love something else, but
love.
Yeah,
you on your shows.
Okay, there we go.
I was going to say, wow, he really is like, laying it on thick for you.
Right.
But very nice. Okay, so I got that out of the way, and let me just get rid of that image in that browser because I don't want to see it anymore. I just can't take it, just thinking about it. 10K for that crap. Like, I don't care who the artist is. Nobody. I would never, ever even, like, again, 500 even seems expensive. But again, on a lark, I'd do it maybe, 10K? What? Oh, God. Okay. There's people starving in Africa. Actually, even in the United States and Canada, there's people starving. Oh, okay. All right. Everybody. I think we'll... What's that, Jason?
Take a calming deep breath.
Yes, I know.
There you go.
Thank you. I need to relax a little bit, but that kind of stuff really riles me up, you see stuff like that, and you see Karen going, oh, and believe me, Karen watched probably the entire auction today, all 8 hours worth, and she said, oh, I think the market's softening, and it's like, I don't know about that. There's always a few random pieces that take a big haircut. But what I've been noticing is that the pieces that are taking big haircuts from the last time they sold, 9 out of 10 times, they tend to be pieces that I initially said, what the hell is that all about?
Yeah.
They never should have sold for that much in the first place. So they're just reverting back to the mean,
Right.
So that's what I've been seeing. A lot of reverting back to the mean. I can't say that there's a slowdown across the hobby. That there's definitely not enough downward pressure to say that that's happening, But even if there was, seeing stuff like that Hitler piece for 10 grand, that suddenly makes you think, are you sure it's softening? Right. Because the only thing softening, it looks to me, is maybe, the stool that Hitler might be dropping into the toilet. So
it makes me wonder what that person's house looks like, because like in their room where they display their art, is it just tons of pieces of people taking shits? And like a whole room, different artists doing their version of different people sitting on the crapper. It just...
Where's that?
No, I'm just saying the person who bought that piece.
Oh, you wonder if they have that.
Yeah, like what would their house look like? Right. If you come over to visit, do you walk into a room and go, what the hell is this?
Yeah, I know. Very well. Yeah, I know. Gosh, I don't even know what to think anymore. Thank you, Cab. I appreciate it. Thank you. Forgot to ask Ruben to feature art I bought from him decades ago. Eventually there might be. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about tonight. But if you're able to have time to catch it on Rewind, Cab, you'll let me know. And don't forget, on Rewind, you don't even have to watch it all on Rewind. I will hopefully tonight. I got to do some more exercise after the show tonight. So I don't know if I'll be able to do it right away after the show, but I'm hoping to chop up this episode into chapters, and the chapters will basically be one chapter for every piece of art we show, something like that. So you'll be able to just hover your mouse over every chapter, and you don't even have to click on it. It'll pop up and tell you what the piece of art is, and you can quickly go through them that way and find out if any of them were yours. Market softening. I see Sam has a hard on for potty art. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Hi to Marcus. Hi to everyone who's here tonight. Hello to you, Kenneth. As always, appreciate you being here. Thank you for dropping in. Schittler will sell for $950 next time. I'm not so sure, because there was at least one other person willing to pay almost 10 grand. Hey, Cab. Okay, got to check out. Check out, Cab. See you soon. Thank you. It's a basement dungeon. Yeah, you would think it might be. Too bad I couldn't see better art before having to leave. I'm sorry. But we always have to do the news and the laughter and the chat and the jokes at the beginning. You know that. This show is flush with speculation. I love that. Thank you, Cab. I appreciate that. Please do. About a couple of pieces are Ruben too. Yeah, I'm not sure. Some of you, please let me know if any of the stuff tonight is yours. Hey, Cab. Hey, CJ. Okay, cool. So we're caught up now, and I believe. Let me just take one last look to make sure that there's nothing else I wanted to announce. Only a little bit later, I'll do a Nikki B's promo. Not only to promo, but I got an announcement for those of you who don't go to his show. He's going to be doing something kind of cool. He's going to be auctioning off a piece this week, this coming Friday. An expensive Romita Jr. Spider-Man cover, starting at $1, which is very risky. For those of you who don't really understand the bidding process, the insides and outs of the bidding process, the reason it would be risky is because on a show like his, there's, typically 4, 5, 6 dozen people there live. Oftentimes, that's not enough people for there to be one person or 2 people willing to bid high enough to make a piece like that go anywhere close to what it's going to be worth or what it should be worth, So you could steal a deal. But anyways, I just want to give a little tease, and then I'll talk about it a little bit more in depth and pop the link in for that halfway through the show. All right. And yeah, with that, I do believe that those are the news items for the day and for the evening, I should say. And Marcus, no, I confirmed with him late last night. And that was the original plan. Because, so originally he said, if we can manage to bring in 100 people, so if he's got 100 people at any given time watching the show, 100 live viewers, he would start the bidding at $1, no reserve. But I can confirm he has decided to take the risk of saying, to hell with that. He's going to do it at $1, no reserve, regardless of how many or how few people show up live.
Wow.
So there you go, which is why people should show up. People who like to steal deals, if you want to go there just to see if you can steal the deal so you can flip it, trade it to another dealer for more art, whatever, there's a chance to make some money here. So, but like I said, I'll give you the link later on halfway through the show, everyone, and we'll talk about it then again. Dropping to say hi to everyone. Thank you. And please, everybody, yes, do as Tariq says. Please, as he asks, leave a thumbs up like he did. We'll be in and out. Thank you, Tariq. I appreciate you. Thank you. Sales are fake anyways. Okay, so just for those of you who don't know and don't go to Nikki B's show often or ever, that's an inside joke. It's not true. Sales are not fake. And there we go. Okay. All right. So, Jason, ready to get into this?
Ready to go? Let's go.
All right.
Show me what you got, or what you had, I should say.
So everybody, just real quick before I start showing the pieces. Oh, shit, we can't do the pieces. I forgot. I wanted to do what? There is one last thing I wanted to do. Real quick. Give me a couple of minutes, a few minutes. We'll do it fast. I forgot. Last week, you guys may remember, I got home from out of town. I went to 6 hours away to the greater Toronto area to my friend Jeff Singh's house. For a collector, an art collector gathering. And when I got back about 4 hours, 5 hours before showtime last Sunday, I didn't have time to get the pictures that we had taken out of my computer and, upload it into the system. And I wanted to show you guys some pictures. And so I got them loaded here for tonight. So let's, if you don't mind, please give me a couple of minutes. We'll rifle through them quick because most of you will not know who these collectors are anyways. Yeah, so let's just do that. Okay, first guy was, we got there, me and again, my travel companion, Vito L, shout out Vito, got there late Sunday night, and Jeff was nice enough to invite our friend Nick Postich, who you guys will say Postic, who was my guest on Comic Art Hangout number 14, for those of you who watch regularly, and you may remember that. And so he had him drop by late at night, literally like 20 minutes before we finally arrived at the house, just because he couldn't make it to the art gathering the next day on Saturday. So yeah, he was cool enough to just drop by, and we hung out with him for like an hour or two on the Friday night. So that was fun. And here we go. The next day, here we are with Alan Barnard. I just wanted to say real quick, Alan probably had my favorite portfolio of the day of Saturday, full of Joe Kubert and Russ Heath war art.
Oh, wow.
Fantastic. I mean, I love Kubert, I love Heath, I love war art, and those are my two favorite war artists. And not only did he have a portfolio full of that stuff, but like he had even like several double page splashes. It was just one amazing thing after another. And so I just wanted to shout him out because
That's cool.
The vast majority of my Canadian collecting friends do not watch my shows. So in case you ever do watch, Alan, props to you, brother. That was awesome. And Eric Belanger, or as some of you who may remember Anthony saying Eric Bellanger, not the wisest, brightest bulb in the lot here, obviously. A big DWJ fan. Some of you may know him for that. He's on CAF. Not all of these people are on CAF, but some of them are. Here's my great friend, Jeff Singh, of course, the man of the hour and the host of the annual gathering. From there, we go to the brothers Meacham, Lee and Neil Meacham. These two brothers have been collecting since 1979. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, interesting fact, fun fact here. These guys do not collect their own collections. They live separately, but they have always been collecting together. So they do have art in each other's homes, but once per year they kind of get together and they swap out some pieces. But yeah, when they buy stuff, they buy together. You know, they make mutual decisions together of what to buy. So a really interesting way to collect, you know, and two brothers. Yeah. I mean, we've heard of that stuff happening in this hobby with a few different people, but you know, the speculator types, the investor types, when they don't want to spend too much money on a speculation, so they get their speculator friend in on it and say, let's go halvesies on this, whatever, you know. Right. But but these guys are brothers, so yeah, that's really cool. And okay, and then after the first half dozen people arrived, we did a group shot. So here we all are in a group shot. That's real quick. And more people began arriving. This is my buddy Kevin Pasquino. Also had my single favorite piece that I saw that weekend. For those of you familiar with Swamp Thing, Bissett and Toddlebin, Swamp Thing, Saga of the Swamp Thing, number 34, the classic Swamp Thing and Abby Have Sex issue. Just a phenomenal page from that book. Just so gorgeous. My favorite piece of that evening. So amazing. Props to you, Kevin. Kevin has also been a viewer and a live chatter here in the past. Here's Rob Gabler. Some of you who go to conventions a lot and like to hang out at Albert Moy's booth may know Rob because he is often sitting there with that same look on his face at Albert Moy's booth. And according to my friend and the photographer for all these shots, Vito L., he referred to this as my douchey look. He says that's me with the douchey look on my face. So just wanted to put it out there. I did that for you, Vito. I just wanted you to know I decided to put the douche picture up for you, just for you. The next guest, oh yeah, awesome, Kevin Boyd. Those of you who don't know who Kevin Boyd is by name may know him or of him because any of you who attend any convention across North America that is branded under the name Fan Expo, so Fan Expo Toronto, Fan Expo Dallas, or whatever city with the name Fan Expo, he is the guy, I don't know what his actual title is, he's the guy who's in charge of all the artists, the comic book artists.
Oh, wow.
So he's the guy. Yeah, he's the one who has to. He has to find the artists, reach out to them to try to get them to show up and appear at all these shows, and then of course take care of them after when they arrive. So he's in charge of all that, and really awesome guy. Next we have Brett Feschuk, and me being very, very nice with him. Really good guy. Now Brett wanted to mention. He also does have a CAF gallery. So under that name, Brett Feschuk, he came with a killer portfolio of Spider-Man and Spider-Man Green Goblin pages. A lot of it more of recent vintage, but by John Romita Jr., a lot of it. Some vintage stuff too, but just fantastic, like splashes, half splashes, killer panel pages, what have you. Like just tons and tons of Spider-Man, Green Goblin by great artists. That was really, really amazing. Oh yeah, here, and I had to give him the double whammy. Why not? And okay, then he finally realized what was happening. So I had to do the douchey look for them. Actually, I was trying to copy his look on his face, the sweet, like, oh, look at me, I'm so cute and sweet. I just don't know how to do it. The next friend here, Bane. No, that's Peter Berkamo. Some of you may know him by name. If you're familiar with the website, The Beguiling. The Beguiling is a great store. It's actually a storefront in the greater Toronto area. And it is not just a comic book store. It is an original art shop as well, both in shop and online. It's The Beguiling. I believe thebeguiling.com, maybe Beguiling Art. I'm not sure. But if you just do The Beguiling and as a Google search, you'd find it. And he's the owner and proprietor of that shop. So there you go. I'm sure Cab is not here anymore, but Cab would know Peter. And after that, we have the infamous, the famous, legendary George Hagenauer. If you don't know who it is, well, you might want to maybe just do a quick Google search. George has been around in the hobby since probably late 60s, early 70s. He's just been involved in the comic books, comic art, pulp art. He's a writer. He's a historian. I mean, he's a doodle guy. And it's just, he's got tons of stories. They never end. It's always such a pleasure to get to see him. And George is the lone American at this last week's get together. He drove up from Michigan. So that's always very cool to get the Americans driving up. And from there, we have our friend Rich Denis. And Rich and I are here inside an office, which I'm going to show you in a second. A couple more pictures first. Here on the left, we have Ron Hobbs. And on the right, Matthew Picamillo. And Matthew, just to let everybody know, Matthew is a guy that nobody knew. Okay, nobody there knew, including Jeff, the host. And what happened is our mutual friend, Dan Marisanu, those of you who know him as Duke Fleet or #1 Gru fan, he couldn't make it. He something came up, he couldn't make it. And so he texted Jeff just to say, hey, look, I know this young guy. He collects different things, but he collects original art as well. And if it's cool with you, can he drop by? Jeff, being the gentleman that he is, without even knowing or asking any questions about this guy, he just said, yeah, sure, give him the address. And there he was. Matthew dropped in, and there you go. That's as easy peasy as it is sometimes. So if anybody listening has a chance and you hear about these types of art collector get-togethers in a city around you or in your city, take advantage of it. It's a lot of fun, great way to meet people. Last but not least on the guest list, my friend, I forgot to, I copied and pasted the Ron Hobbs Matthew Picamillo name. Sorry, that is my friend Vito L. And myself, like I said, my good friend from here in Montreal and travel companion. So, and photographer for the whole evening. So from there.
Cool. Looks like a good time.
Just 4 last pictures though, because I know you guys are probably wondering. I know I told you a lot of you that Jeff just moved recently to a smaller, they downsized, smaller home. I got 4 pictures just so you can see what his office looks like, okay? I figured you'd appreciate this. At least you get to see some art. All right. When you walk in, you're standing through, it's a double door that swings open. You look forward, and there you go. That's what you're kind of looking at, kind of to the right, forward and to the right. When you look immediately to the right, you see this. So it's a flat file folder. So he's got tons of like larger art that don't fit into portfolios in the flat files there, the metal thing that you see right there on the right-hand side. Tons of portfolios on top, of course, here, there, and everywhere, obviously. And then, so that's on the right-hand side as you're standing, looking forward, well, looking to the right. Then if you look to the left, immediately to the left as you walk in, there's a, oops, sorry, not that one. You see, sorry, this. See this, which is really, really cool. Art on the wall, plus there's a bookshelf and a display for some statues and the like. That's also pretty cool. And on the opposite side of that bookshelf, so in other words, if you walk into the room a couple of steps and you look to the left, so what is on the other side of this bookshelf, that's what you will see here. And that's where his computer and his scanner and all that stuff is. Yeah, so just a bunch of great art, mostly strip type art for the most part, but there you see like an Elektra Assassin cover by Miller, Sienkiewicz, a couple of Sienkiewicz pinups from Marvel Fanfare of Sheena and Dazzler, a great Prince Valiant, and just crazy stuff. So there you go. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jason. Thank you.
Yeah, it's
so
really
much
cool.
to all of you. Oh, Rich Denis, look at that. Sorry, guys, because I was busy with that. I didn't have time to pop into the chat. I wasn't seeing what you guys were looking at or saying. So, Ruben finally got home to do his Shitler. Nice. Big fans of umbrellas. Hot dog. Is that what we were eating? No coasters on those tables. I don't know what to say there. Jane, his wife, is going to get mad. That's all I can tell you that. Great underground art. He's got a lot of great art in general. But, Jeff, you know George. Oh, that's awesome. That's cool. Lots of great independent art at the Beguiling. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, absolutely. That's what they specialize in fact. Peter Berkamo and the Beguiling, it's small press, indie type stuff for the most part. Rich, what's up, man? That dude is a handsome devil, saving the best for last. There you go. There you go. Then the man for sure. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It was a fabulous time. Some would say absolutely spectacular. Yeah, I certainly would. And yes, Vito. Oh, helpful for the art burglars out there. Well, he was okay. He was okay for that. He was okay for that. That's why it's only 4 pictures. So that's it. So a nice arcade. I knew you would say something about that, Karen, being the video game junkie that you are. I figured you'd appreciate that. Ruben the Casing guy. He was okay with that. He was okay. I got permission. Look, the Cloak and Dagger cover. Yeah, me too. It is very, very cool. Yeah, man. That's what a lot of people were saying there, including Rich. Rich Denis was like, you know, he's always like, oh my God, the stuff that he has. Oh. Yeah, we're always flabbergasted. You're very welcome, Karen. You're very welcome. Okay, so thank you for allowing me that. This is probably the latest we've ever started an actual first piece of a show and tell. But there you go. Exactly. There you go. But let's get into it, shall we? You good? Good to go, Jason?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, excellent. Just real quick, want to say, everybody, remember, this is not any particular collector's collection. It's all my former inventory that I once sold and made photocopies of in order by artist, alphabetical order by artist, continuing from the last episode we did of this a year ago. Okay, that was episode show and tell number 6. And so I didn't choose like, oh, let me choose the best pieces that I used to sell. No, I'm putting literally everything that I made photocopies of. So some of the stuff is crap and some of the stuff is cool and some of the stuff is really awesome. So be aware when you see some crap stuff and you're wondering, why would you show us that? It's just because I decided not to pick and choose. I'm showing everything, okay? Because we have probably, including tonight, I have enough photocopies to show like another 3 episodes or more. So there we go. I want to get through it all. So why not hold out for 15 more minutes, right? And do the full hour, right? Yeah. Even the archivist. Thank you. I appreciate that. But no, let's get into it, shall we, everyone? And the great thing, by the way, everyone, the great thing is with my old inventory, the shows that we've done in the past, we get through them quickly or quicker than a regular show and tell. Because when there is a not so exciting piece, there's not much to say about it, and we pass through it quickly, so that saves a lot of time. All right, everybody, let us get into this and cue up the images. All right, we start with a pretty cool one. And for that, we got Secret Defenders. Pretty crappy title, in my opinion. You guys can say whatever you guys want about it. But I always thought this was really cool, especially when I had it. I was like, wow, like, I mean, if you're a Thanos fan, like, this is killer Thanos stuff, right?
Yeah, that's good Thanos. The center panel there with a close-up of his face is really well done.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, that, and you know what's funny is that's what grabbed me first. I remember buying it, I remember picking it up and I was like, yeah, the headshot really does it for me, even more than the full-figured standing there shot. Even though, of course, that adds most of the value to it. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And Don Hudson doing a little bit of his bit of a Tom Palmer inking impersonation, if you will. And there you go, everybody. Let me do my strobe effect here. There we go. Had to do that. But yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool piece. And as you can see, everyone, you're going to see at the bottom of a lot of the slides, current owner, unknown. You're going to see that a lot, just like in the first 3 episodes we did of this a year ago. That's because, yeah, for whatever reason, most of this stuff, it's not out there online. For whatever reason, don't know. So my guess is as good as yours, and that's it. So you'll see a lot of that. When I do know the owner, then I have taken care to credit the people.
Eternals in the chat. I don't know if got this means he's the owner or she.
Hold on. First, let me say Thanos and the strategic hiding of his cankles. Eternals is back. Got this? Eternals, please confirm yes or no. Do you are you saying you own that piece? And did you buy it from me? Do you remember, or did you get it? Because I probably sold that like close to 20 years ago. So, okay, so yes, you own it. That's awesome. Yeah. Honestly, I don't remember in the previous 3 episodes ever having somebody watching live say, "Oh, I own that." I don't remember. Maybe it happened, and if it happened, maybe it happened once. Not sure, but I don't remember it, even if it did happen. So that's pretty cool. So thank you, Eternals. That's awesome. So cool. Really, really cool. Awesome.
Yeah, it's a great double page.
Yeah, great DPS for you. Let us know how long. I'm curious. How long have you owned it? Greetings, everyone. Sorry I missed the past 2 shows. No, don't ever apologize. Ever, Rich. Don't ever apologize. Come back from Baltimore. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you were in Baltimore last week. Yeah, exactly. I hope you had a great time. I know you did because of all the IG pictures of all the sketches and stuff that you were getting and all the artists you were meeting. So that was really cool. So glad you had a great time there, man. And okay, let us go to the next piece. And for that, look at that. It's an artist I am a little bit familiar with. So Adventures of Superman 556 by Tom Grummett and Denis Rodier. The funny thing about this one, I just want to point out, this is, of course, the electric blue Superman, not real Superman. But it's cool that it's got Superman red and Superman blue. At the time that I owned this, I was not, because I know some of you will probably be wondering why I don't own this. At the time that I owned it, collecting Tom's work was not my focal point. I still loved it, but I bought it here and there. But since it wasn't my focal point, and the Superman red and Superman blue were not my favorite Superman, I do love them, but sometimes things have to go, and so I just figured, okay.
The coloring job on this ruined the art. The original art would have been better as a cover without the coloring. That right-sided panel with Superman blue crashing down. With
the super bright orange on the right-hand side, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and then the Superman red crouching. There's so much more detail in the original pencils and inks.
Yeah.
And you lose it all with the coloring. Absolutely.
Thanks, Eternals. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. So yeah, he didn't get it from me. That's no worries. That's pretty cool though. Yeah, got this comic book. Cool split cover. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, covers typically I prefer them to not be split, but it's cool. If I could get it at a good price, I mean, I'd still own it today. But the funny thing is that this one has been available over the years. I did have a chance at it, and I still passed on it because I felt the asking prices were more than I thought they should be. So, you can't have it all. You can't have it all. So sometimes you go crazy and you buy everything up that you want. Other times you kind of have to put a stop and say, you know what, I'm not going to throw money at everything. So color almost always does, as we say often. Yeah, we especially on this show, right, CJ? We do often bring that up. So yeah, not a surprise that the color kind of sucks ass, right? Okay, cool. From there, we go to a very well-known artist, not published work, but a really, really cool piece I remember having, and vintage. Shang-Chi, the Master of Kung Fu by Paul Gulacy, a very tight illustration, pencils only. Really beautiful. Yeah, from 1982, so very great vintage,
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So that was just like a convention.
Yeah, I there's no way to know, because I didn't get it from the person who first owned it,
Gotcha.
But I would say he probably, there's a good chance he did this at a convention. I mean, he could have done it at home. It's possible, but there's a good chance it was done at a convention. But damn, that's really tight for a convention, though.
Yeah.
If it is a convention piece, I mean, to do it that tightly, the pencil work that tightly, yeah, that's pretty sick. So, but yeah, but then again, it wouldn't be all that surprising, because back in the day when the artwork wasn't a hobby unto itself, right? You could expect that artists, they did more, they put more into it. The sketches were probably like between 1980, anywhere from $10 to $30.
Wow.
For like a big name guy, for Gulacy. Gulacy, I can't imagine, would have been more than $20-$30 even back in 1980, So, but again, it's all relative, right? In 1980, $30 buys you a hell of a lot of cool back issues.
True. Yeah.
Right? When you're a comic book collector, right? So, yeah, so cool, beautiful piece, absolutely, Maki Poo Poo. Yeah, very nice, very nice. So yeah, so that's the thing. It's absolutely it did. So yes, that's the thing. So it wasn't, since it wasn't an established market at the time, these guys weren't yet jaded enough to kind of be like, okay, well, I'm gonna not put too much work in this because this guy might flip it on eBay tonight. Right. He may flip it, before the con finishes today and it lets out, So everybody's jaded now, and so yeah, they're not always gonna do such detailed pencil work, Speaking of pencil work, we're gonna go to the next piece, which is, to a lot of you, probably a not well-known artist. Those of us who's been around since the 80s. His name is Mike Gustovich. You may know him best from Kamiko's The Justice Machine, which was a spin-off from Elementals. This is really cool because it's not a published piece either, but it's a tryout piece. It's a cover that he did as a tryout for DC to try to get work at DC. Tight, beautiful pencils. And check this out. It was a hot title at the time. Animal Man.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And it's almost you look at the wolves, and it's almost like, ooh, Brian Bolland-esque levels of detail here.
Yeah, that's incredible. That the wolf that's looking right at you is super detailed. Wow.
Yeah, and it's fabulous, And when I got it, I mean, I couldn't even believe this was Mike Gustovich, because I just thought, I was so familiar with his work already from the 80s, and I was like, man, it never looked quite like this, Yeah. So being a tryout page, I thought, oh, it makes sense. He's going balls out here because he's trying to get a job out of this, right? So yeah, definitely, Mike, definitely, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely amazing. I mean, it's absolutely spectacular. Let's be honest. Let's be honest, okay? Maki Poop, we have to step away. He'll be back. Sounds good. You never have to let us know, but I appreciate it. That's so nice of you. Yeah, so really, really cool. Love that. And so this is the kind of piece that, I don't regret anything, but it's the kind of piece where I sometimes find myself saying, it's cheap. It's never going to be super expensive. So I kind of wish I didn't sell pieces like that, Just because they're always going to be affordable, and it's so much value for the money. I like value for my money, which is why I don't chase after name artists. I don't care about the name. I just like good art. And there's plenty of really good professional level artists in the hobby, in the industry, who most of whom are not going to be big names, hot names, whatever.
Right.
I don't follow the crowds. I don't care about that. I just buy it because I like it, and that's it. And when you have great art by a not hot name, it usually costs you very little, Yeah,
sure.
There's a lot of value to be had in this hobby. Even today, at today's values, there's a lot of stuff to be had. If you're, again, like we always say, if you're willing to expand, broaden your horizons, and not just stick to the big name artists,
Yeah.
Well, that's a good example of it. So, okay. So from there, Rich says, that's as tight as I've seen from Gustovich. Yeah, absolutely. Pencils only. Yeah, it's exactly, Mike. Only pencils. It's tight pencils. Yeah, and he did it on one of those craft tint boards. For those of you who don't know what craft tint is, so the board is printed with a. It's got a textured It's got patterns, different. It's got patterns on it, right? Like textured patterns, and you use different chemicals to brush over the page, so it ends up creating a cool special effect, basically. You've never heard of duo shade board?
I probably have heard that term, but I don't know if I knew what it was.
Okay, take a look. Are you familiar with the Namor series that John Byrne did?
Yeah.
So take a look through the covers, because I don't remember, by heart, from memory, when he started and stopped or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But look through those covers. At a certain point, he gets on this kick where he's using craft tint. He pencils it on a regular board, transfers by copying it onto the craft tint board, and does the inking and craft tint washes on the craft tint board. You can tell because when you look at those covers, they have this cool sort of special effect, the inks. You'll see what I'm talking about once you start looking through the covers. Yeah. So there you go. Now, plenty of toilet art ready to be exploited. I wouldn't say it's toilet art. TMNT, are you saying that that's cheap and affordable? I mean, there's tons of it out there, so definitely it is, but there's tons of examples. Even like Spider-Man. Again, if you're a character person, a character follower, and you want cool pictures, cool images, great looking pages with my favorite characters, there's tons of art you can buy by tons of artists, very affordable prices. And Rich saying that OMAC by Byrne, Dead Man by Garcia Lopez are two great examples of craft tint art. Yes, that's true. Yes, that's another OMAC by Byrne. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Rich. Yeah, and there's more. There's a lot more. I can't name them all off here, but craft tint duotone for T. Sorry, thank you. For TMNT. But I was right though, Marcus. Right, there's a ton of TMNT art out there, and most of it is affordable. But yes, exactly. The way that they were doing the TMNT at the beginning, especially. You look at. Okay, so next piece in the show and tell, everyone. Okay, another example of a guy who, back in this era, Adam Hughes was doing covers, and Bolland was doing covers, Byrne was doing covers, and all of those are expensive. But if you wanted one that was doing covers that weren't expensive, you can get still cool-looking covers for not too much money. And here you go, a nice Matt Haley, who was a great artist, is still a great artist, but he left the comics biz because it just didn't pay enough. And yeah, that's a great example, and one of the rare pieces tonight where I know who the owner is, and I believe Mickey may have bought it directly from me. Mickey's usually here, not really getting in on the chat too much. So Mickey, if you're out there, please confirm if you remember getting this from me, because I think I remember selling it to you. But yeah, it's cool, man. And I mean, it's okay. She's not standing there like a lot of people want her to be standing there posing, whatever. But
It's still good. Yeah, it's still really well done.
Nice frontal, image. And I love the fact that not only does it have a villain, but Ares, when you got like, I don't, is that Ares though? Because he looks kind of devilish. It looks like a devilish version of Ares. So I'm not even sure if it's Ares, but all those gods, they look kind of cool, So yeah, and I mean the way that he did the composition with all in silhouette, right? The whole cape in silhouette. Yeah, I think it just makes the piece really, really pop a lot,
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, great page. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Chaikin Flag, another duo shade craft tint board series. Absolutely. So cool. All right. From there, let's go to the late 70s. Just a panel page, but again, not a big name artist, but the Fantastic Four Annual number 12, Bob Hall, Bob Wiacek. Again, don't know who the owner is. Haven't seen this probably since it came out, but thought it was kind of cool. It had Inhumans in the second panel. Not large images, but full figure shots of Black Bolt, Medusa, Gorgon, I believe.
It's a cool page for the era.
Yeah, from that time period. I really like the bottom 3 panels, the torch panels, especially the second to last one where he's the space. Getting snuffed out by the lack of oxygen. And I like the crystal crying panel. I like her face crying there. That's kind of cool too. So yeah, just kind of a fun little page. And in case Mike, that shows, you're just showing how much of how little of a mainstream guy you really are. You thought that was evil Batman. That's awesome. I love it. And I'm loving the fact that you're willing, you have no shame like me, you're willing to admit it. So that's very cool. Man, these comments are coming in super late tonight. It's taking way more than 10 seconds. I don't know if you guys are just commenting late or what, but wow.
They're taking it in.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Cryfest or Cryfest. Yeah, but yeah, it's a fun page, a fun panel page. What's funny, what I was going to say is that, so that for me, I think I probably bought that for $75.
Oh, geez.
And I probably sold it for about $1.25. Like that's what it would have sold for back in those days. Yeah, everything was a lot more affordable.
It still boggles my mind that at my age and when I started collecting, which would have been the early 80s, that I just never ever occurred to me, hey, there's probably original art out there. I was always just focused on the books. Yeah.
But a lot of people say the same thing. Most people in the hobby can say the same thing now,
And I can distinctly remember going to a Detroit City Motor City Comic Con, maybe in the 1990s, like 92, and walking past. I don't even know who was there. I don't even remember, but just thinking, who the hell wants these sketches? Just going straight to the comic book dealer so I could.
Yeah. I know, but that's it. When you were young and you were hardcore into comics and you got your hands on some money, and now you can afford to go back and get a few back issues. I mean, that's all you could think of, right? It was just focus. You were so caught up in how amazing that was. Of course, nothing else is going to catch your eye because artwork would have been more like, especially at when we were young, at those ages, you're like, even if you had seen it, you'd be like, oh, that's kind of cool, but you'd think of it more, you'd see it more as a kind of a cool little
side gig, but it wasn't
it's a cool thing or whatever, but I gotta go get my back issues, right?
Right.
So that's just how it was. What are you gonna do? Tunnel vision, says Rick.
Yeah,
it's tunnel vision, but $100 was a lot back then. I don't know if it was a lot. I wouldn't say it was a lot, Marcus. I think I sold that one. It probably would have been somewhere in the early 2000s. Yeah, maybe 2001, maybe ish. I'm thinking. I don't know if it was a lot. Yeah, I wouldn't say a lot. But there was a lot fewer collectors. So
right.
A lot of people, you're going to see a lot of this stuff. A lot of people didn't care. Okay, so this one was one of the rare commissions that I got for myself 23 years ago. 23 years ago, I commissioned this man and got him on the path to making money with more commissions. And today is one of the supremely most popular artists around. But I ended up selling it. I'll tell you in a second why. Let me show it to you first. Oh, hold on. Let me just make sure you're not talking about... Got my first sketch in 86. Wow, 86. And didn't get my first published until 99. Go figure. Yeah, that's how it goes. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate it. Yes, please, everybody, if you're watching and you haven't done so, please just hit that thumbs up. Would really, really appreciate that. Thank you. Nick, I gave you a sneak peek, a teaser at the beginning of the show. But I'm going to be doing the full promo a little bit later, halfway through the artwork that we're showing tonight. But thank you for dropping in as always and for rallying the likes. I appreciate it. Yes. Okay. So yeah. So that piece. Yeah, I know. And in 1986, I was working at McDonald's for $4.35 an hour. So there you have that. Ruben, the commission artist starter. You're welcome, Nick. You're welcome. Appreciate it. Yeah, so let me show you that. He's super hot today and getting way more for his art. Here we go.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That is super cool.
Yeah, Giant Eyes X-Men #1 cover recreation, or if you will, reinterpretation by the man himself, Fred Hembeck. Okay, so let me just tell you guys. You
sold that?
Yes, let me tell you why. I actually commissioned this one and a Hulk 181 at the same time. Okay, the Hulk 181, I still own it. You can still see it in my cap gallery. So I've owned it now 23 years. So I believe it might be the piece I've owned the longest, unless one of my Daredevil Mazzucchelli pieces I may own since 99. But so I got them both done. But you see how there's a lot of space at the top?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, at the bottom, there's at least as much space at the bottom. It's just that I didn't want to show that much dead space. I wanted to make the artwork larger, right?
Sure.
But there's that much. So if you look at just the outline of the image area, don't you find it looks a lot more closer to square than rectangular?
Yeah.
So me being the anal person that I am, I spotted that right away, and I couldn't unsee it. I couldn't take it. And then I pulled out my not that you dirty bastards. I pulled out my measuring tape, and I realized, oh man, he measured it wrong, and I think he shortchanged me by 2 inches.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, in height, So I was like, So I was like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm not going to ask him to make another one. That's not fair either. I don't know. Some of you probably think it might be fair, but I wouldn't do that. I just had the option of just keeping it or saying, you know what? If it bothers me that much, I'll just sell it, and that's it. So I sold it.
I haven't seen the Hulk 181 in your gallery, but is it squared like this, or it's?
Oh no, he did that one proper. No.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, this was just a mistake.
Yeah.
I mean, I did reach out to him to say thank you when I received it, right? Like I always do, obviously.
Sure.
Said, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I just wanted you to know, because I'm not sure if I did kind of was curious. I wanted to know, like, is there any chance you might have done this on purpose by any chance? But it's about 2 inches shorter than the Hulk 181. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. No, I guess I just miscalculated when I was measuring the lines and lining it or whatever, Yeah, I was like, okay, no worries, whatever. It's fine. He was such a gentleman, such a nice guy, right? So I was like, whatever. And like I said, I knew that I could always sell it if I had to, right? So
oh heck yeah.
Yeah, but that's it. And I've never seen it since. I've seen there's one in somebody's calf gallery. I think he got it done in 2006. So it's kind of interesting to compare this one with that one, because there's still little differences, the way he drew certain characters. But it's kind of cool. I don't have any more. What are you gonna do?
That's really neat to see. That's cool. Good
evening, Mikhail. Orders of Frednitude. Yes. It didn't fit Ruben's color frame. No, it certainly doesn't. Forgot Elongated Man. Oh, what's that about? Elongated Man? Sorry, Rick. Sorry, man. It went over my head because I have no context now. I'm coming late to it. Vertically challenged. It was absolutely. Size does matter, JC. Exactly. And the light box was on the fritz. I think it was just a mistaken measuring, I guess, like he said. I think we have also pieces of art that have bothered us for one reason or another. Oh, absolutely. I think so too, you know. Maybe Ruben prefers light box recreations. I don't. But I did have some of those done in 2000 and 2001 by an amateur artist. That was before anybody else was doing them. And I thought they were kind of cool because they were like $75 a piece. But then quickly thereafter, everybody else got in on it. Everybody bought a light box and started doing the same thing. So I was like, lost the taste for that, you know?
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So let's say you still had this, but the format bothers you. It's not published. You commissioned it. Would you cut it? Would you cut the extra white off and then frame it just as the image is?
No, because if I wanted to frame it, I could. You don't need to cut it to frame it.
Right, you could just mat it differently.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Use the matting.
But I mean, would you ever alter a piece that the artist touched?
We've talked about this before. This is not the first time this has come up. No, that's the thing. I wouldn't. Now, we talked about this in a previous show not that long ago where what if it had nothing to do with art, like in this example, right? Mm-hmm. You know, for whatever reason, if you wanted if you wanted to fit it into something, a portfolio or whatever, would you be willing to hack off, you know, some of all that extra white? It's nothing but paper. My answer was, I still wouldn't do it myself. I'm a purist. I wouldn't do it, but I wouldn't be opposed if somebody else did it. I just don't want to be the one to do it. And if somebody did it, and I know they did it, and I was interested in the piece, I'd still buy it.
Right.
I'd be okay with it just as long as I wasn't the one to do it.
Right.
So yeah, I just want to make that clear, you know. Oh, Elongated Man would have fixed it. Okay, thank you. Sorry. Number one Marvel fan, have yet to get a nice Hembeck cover, only have around 110 sketch cards. Do you have 110 sketch cards from him or in total in your collection? That's pretty sick.
Wow, that's impressive.
Hey, Dan.
I think Jeff Wedding is giving him a run for his money. I think Jeff has a pretty big collection.
Jeff should tell us. Dwayne could have sent it back to add another comics in the back like it was on a rack. Take it off the rack. If it's whack, put it back. I like the Whopper. Fuck the Big Mac. Oh, anybody with me on that one?
Wow.
Anybody? Oh my God, anybody? That was kind of, oh wow, Dwayne's a pain. You and me were like in a kind of a stink. One person. I just need one of you to know what I just did there. Please tell me somebody knows what I just did. Wow. Could have sent it back to add other comics in the back like it was on a rack. Yeah, baby, look at that. Bootlegging. Who remembers It Takes Two? Somebody, come on. That was a huge hit. Nothing, Jason? Nothing?
No, that's either before my time or after my time or wasn't my time. I don't know.
Oh, my God. You don't remember Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock?
Oh, God. Maybe. I mean, if...
Okay. Wow. Okay.
It was never my thing back then.
Worldwide hit, by the way. Just FYI. Worldwide hit. Like, massive. But wow. Total, again, I ask. Total, Jeff, or Hembeck alone? Whew. Whoa, because... I mean, it's impressive either way, but yeah. Yeah, Rich, you know it, baby. You know it. Another one who knows it. What's up, Tom? Yeah. Awesome. Rob Bass, man. Look at that. Jeff has the best Hembeck lot, but mine are all Marvel only. That's terrible. You need more DC. There you go. Rob Bass. Yeah, the Rob Bass is coming out. Out of sight. Yep, it takes two to make things go right. Like even Rich knows. Yeah, massive hit for sure. Oh my God, how does
okay. Yes. For some reason,
takes
the
two to
way you
make it
said it right
go
there,
right.
then it clicked. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so it takes two to make a thing. There you go. There you go. What I just said. Yeah, we're on the same wavelength now. Hembeck keepers. Wow. Hembeck only. Wow. And I've also given away about 100. Holy
That's
smoke,
incredible.
dude. Look,
That's
Rob
super
Base.
generous.
I like Big Mac better. Oh, okay. That was awesome. That was good. Right off the old school hip hop tip there. But cool. Let's get back on track, everyone. Thank you so much. That was a fun Hembeck. I love it. But I wish I still had it because, I always like the whole 181, first appearance, and then Giant Size, such a classic book if you're an X-Men,
for
new
sure.
X-Men fan, and second appearance of Wolverine, full appearance or whatever.
For sure.
Yeah, what are you going to do? All right, we got a couple of quickies. Captain Atom, number 54, early 90s, I believe still in the collection of my friend Lou Haberman, a man to whom I sold several Grummett Superboy covers back in the mid 2000s, but who a few years ago sold me back a few of them at much higher prices, of course. But yeah, I like these sort of secondary tier DC characters that DC was giving a shot at in the late 80s, early 90s, putting them into their own titles. I thought it was kind of fun, so I was buying this title at the time. And I had the opportunity to get a couple of covers, so I figured why not? For inventory, of course. It's not like I cared about the title enough for me to want to, keep a Captain Atom cover.
Right.
But you know what's funny? I don't know if you know, Jason. So the artist Flint Henry, okay, an American. But did you know that there's also a British artist, comic book artist, who had a much, much longer career named Henry Flint? No joke. And all these decades later, I still continue confusing both of them. I always forget. Yeah, I forget which is which.
Was Flint Henry just a DC artist? Because I don't remember him.
So Flint Henry, honestly, was more of a first comics artist. Yeah, he was doing like some of those first comics, maybe Kamiko, I don't remember. Stuff for sure in the mid 80s, like 85, 86, 87, around that time. The funny thing is that and Grimjack. He did Grimjack. So that was one of the books. Thank you, Rick. There we go. Same wavelength again. Had a big run on Grimjack. Yeah, exactly. But that was the funny thing is that I don't know why. Maybe he, like a lot of artists who didn't have a long career, maybe he went off to do other types of commercial art that paid better. Mm-hmm. So I'm really not sure why he left. But he only did, I believe, 4 consecutive covers from Captain Atom. But in total, I believe he only did, including covers, I think he only did something like 80 something odd pieces, not pieces, but like if you include an issue, like a story as one piece, either a cover or a story, he only did like 80 some odd things in the industry. Yeah. Whereas Henry Flint, the British guy, he did like 400 or 500 or something like that. So that's interesting. Couple of comments here. Scanned the Grummett piece today that I randomly won at Heritage. Bootlegging. Now you keep going by your Dan 10. Do you go, hey, 1 or 2? Put 1 or 2 in the chat, Dan. Tancredi or Tancredi? Or put 3 if it's neither. And then after you do that, let me know what Grummett piece you won. Randomly. Because I'm just always curious. Pretty rare. I'm trying to find some Conan art he did. Really? You're really, Michael, you're specifically looking for Flint Henry artwork. That's interesting, from Conan. So you see? Affordable stuff, guys. I don't know why it's rare, but it could be because he just kept it all, Michael. He could have just kept it all since he didn't really do much in the industry, Got tired of being asked to paint. Did he keep getting asked to paint? Or am I losing? Am I missing a joke there? Oh, Henry, well, that's certainly a joke. 1.5? Yes. Okay, Dan doesn't want to tell us how to say his last name or what his Grummett piece is. Okay, so in that case, let us move to the next piece. And it's another one. The 56 cover. I kind of dug this one because
that's cool.
Yeah, I always kind of liked atomic bomb covers, mushroom cloud covers, that sort of thing. And interestingly enough, that has always been a thing. It's a sub-collecting category. There's people who collect comics, who collect the 1950s comics.
Yeah, right.
1940s. Yeah, the atomic age, who collect this kind of stuff. So today I could probably get really good money for this cover just by selling it to one of those people,
Sure.
So who the heck knows? Dan's back. The Grummett piece it's from Generation X.
Very
okay,
cool.
Final page, I'm sure. I've got a double page splash from Generation X featuring Banshee flying with Emma Frost by Grummett. Not good inking though, so it kind of looks crappy. In like Flint, yeah, nice. But yeah, this is Nick says Flint Henry was a sweetheart, was he? Thanks for letting us know. He used to shop at Fat Jack's when I was shopping there. Cool, man. Thank you for sharing that, Nick. Yeah. Any idea why he left the industry, Nick? Yeah, let us know. Probably, I'm assuming like most people is try to find commercial art elsewhere that pays better.
Yeah, better pay.
That's often the case, Okay, everyone, let us get this moving. We're going to pick this up because we're way too far behind. So cool panel page. This was just FYI, little nugget of knowledge. A fun fact, I guess you could call it. This was the first time I had ever heard of Kyle Hotz. Or I don't know if it's Hotz. I have always said Hotz until I know otherwise. And I just thought it was so cool. I was like, wow, what an interesting style this guy has. And he's doing Goblin and Spidey, and it's making it look kind of like it's almost like an EC horror comic.
Yeah, until I saw the Green Goblin and Spidey at the bottom, the upper panels, I was thinking this was something along those lines, some sort of horror page or Swamp Thing or something. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's it's a really, really fun. Like I said, first time I ever heard of the artist. Nobody knew him because I kept asking around. Have you heard of this guy? What else has he done? Who is this guy? But he had just been starting his career at the time, so that's why I didn't know him. That's why he was unknown. CJ Henry Flint is greater than Larry Flint. Depends on the legacy if you're thinking about the legacy they left behind. Who knows? I mean, Larry Flint left behind a pretty huge legacy, whether you like it or not. So I don't know if I agree with that, but it's funny, so I do like it. Aranga, since Dan's not going to answer, I'll tell you. It's number 1, Tank Ready. All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, actually.
And he comes back to say, for my pronunciation answer. All right, Dan, Tank Ready. Awesome. Thanks, Aranga, especially to you. Really appreciate it. Okay. Unfortunately, you don't know. That's too bad. The dark ink really stands out. Yes, it does, Karen. It certainly does. It's pretty awesome, actually. I like high contrast work. I've always loved high contrast work, So, pretty cool. And the Goblin is kind of like, if you think about it, he is, if any character could be sort of translated over to a horror genre, he's one of those characters because he's a Goblin, right? He can be made to look scary if you want him to.
Sure.
So drop it like it's. Yeah. Hotz. Larry Flint is on the leaderboard for yardage too. Yes, along with Barry White. We know. Okay, cool. Excellent. From there, next piece. An Adam Hughes piece. It was a 1990 or 91 pencil illustration that unfortunately somebody decided to get one of my favorite all-time artists to ink it. Butch Guice, unfortunately, you should never, when you want to get an inker to ink a penciler, you have to think about the symbiosis and style. Getting two people with completely contrasting styles is usually not the way, that's not where you want to go, especially if the penciler is like a, mind you, 1990, 91, Adam Hughes, he still wasn't huge yet. He was just starting to become known for his nice good girl art, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But regardless of that fact, it's still a beautiful piece. Beautiful looking She-Hulk here. Yeah, but it's just I found, I don't know. Certainly, you know, and I love Butch personally, good guy as well. He inked it beautifully. It's just, again, it's, you know, in those days he had a very, like his throughout his whole career, he had a very distinct style, penciling and inking. And so you could have told me right away, oh, I'm getting Butch to ink this Adam Hughes piece. I would have said, no, don't do that. And I love Butch, but I'm like, no, that's not gonna. It's gonna end up looking more like Butch, not like Adam, you know. But oh well, what are you gonna do? Still fun, right? Number one is the correct Italian pronunciation. Yeah, of course, Tancredi, but it's been pronounced as number two my whole life. Oh, so your whole life people say Tancredi. Interesting. Okay. But I'll say Tancredi because it should be Tancredi. Recipe for disaster. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And I just remember the drop the value. Yes. It says Jackson, guys. Yes, because he inked it. Let's get a few more likes. Yes, please, everybody. Please hit the thumbs up if you will. I'd appreciate it. Very stargazer-ish. I know what you're talking about, Mark. I remember what you're talking about. Exactly. Very much. I didn't even think about that, but that very true. Yeah, anyone over Hughes was going to lower the value. Yeah, that is true. But again, the person getting this inked wasn't really thinking of value, especially back in 1991, you know? Stevens must have been unavailable. Yes, I'm sure he was. But yeah, whatever. Fun piece. Okay, everybody, next piece. By another guy who was hot guy of the moment for a while, about 20-ish years ago. J.G. Jones. First on Fatale, which that indie book, which I don't know why that was kind of popular for a little while, because the art is just horrifically bad on that. No offense, J.G. Jones, but I think even he would agree to that. But anybody who knows what I'm talking about, yeah, go look at some of those pages, and you'll see what I'm saying. The great thing about JG is that he made one of the fastest improvements of all time in this comic book business. I've never seen anybody go from like, wow, that's not so good, to like, wow, you're really good. So fast. I think it was a couple of years. What just the like leaps and bounds, the improvements. It was just shocking. So I know nothing about this by any chance. Do you, Jason, Marvel boy?
No, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I just remember it was about all this whole, I don't know, Gen Vel, Marvel, all this other Vel stuff. They were changing his costume, and it was a different Captain Marvel. I don't know. But it was just kind of popular at the time. He as an artist was getting popular at the time. So I just figured, okay, might as well pick this up and see if anybody wants it. All right, from there, oh, this was a fun piece. I used to love splashes with villains. So for this, Super Team Family. Yeah, pretty fun, right? Darkseid splash.
That's good.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And I love the chanting, Darkseid. Darkseid. Yeah, it's fun, you know, sitting there on the throne and with his vizier behind his right shoulder, whoever that is. Yeah, like I said, I always loved villain splashes. It's kind of like most people collect heroes more than villains, you know? And so when I used to see these, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool to have, right? It's a nice sort of opposites attract kind of thing. It'd be cool for people who have, like, let's say, I don't know, a Superman splash or, you know, whatever splash of a hero from DC. It'd be cool to pair it up with a villain splash, you know? Yeah, and so really neat. And of course, you know, this is owned by, I still believe it's still owned by Joe Viteri. And yeah, this I could probably tell you, I sold it probably for. Sorry, I probably gave a deal. I used to have to give deals all the time. My asking price is usually the one I usually remember more than what I actually sold it for. Asking price on this was probably like $250 in 2000 and I want to say 3.
Wow.
Right around there, just to give you some context,
That hurts.
Sorry, say it again, Jason.
I said that hurts.
Oh, yeah.
Knowing what they go for today.
Yeah, exactly. Caesar, it's usually horrible. What can I tell you, man? Another throne piece. There's a lot of throne pieces tonight. Yeah, but yeah, it's fun. It's fun. And it was cool. I saw Joe, I believe Joe picked it up from auction because I do remember it several years ago it being auctioned off. And I was like so happy to see it for the first time in probably like 13, 15 years or something. It's always fun to see that happen when you see stuff come around again for the first time in a long time, Hanging out at 77A Bleecker Street. That's Dr. Strange's address, is it not? He's upset that the toilet paper roll is on backwards. Oh, you guys. All right, the next one is, so Dan Jurgens. I bought it as an unknown cover. I took a chance hoping I used to love doing research to try to figure out what something was when nobody knew what it was. And I bought it as an unknown, and I believe I sold it as an unknown, and then ultimately later ended up finding out. Sorry for the mistake. I forgot to. I copied and pasted the Super Team Family. Sorry, everybody, for the mistake. Man of War, by Malibu, mid-90s, I think this was. Dan Jurgens, Ken Branch, and I believe Ken Branch was I don't know if he was an art collector per se, but he always used to be a part of what we used to know as the Comic Art L. It was a Yahoo group. The very first group anywhere online for comic book art collectors to gather together and meet each other and talk. So it was kind of cool. It's kind of a cool looking costume. It's very sort of patriotic looking, and I just kind of like the artwork, And, let me see.
I never read much Malibu, so I don't remember this character.
Thanks, Rich. Yeah, very pointy waves. I never read any of the Malibu stuff. I think they started up just as I had quit collecting and reading comics, But from there, we go to the next one, and we go to a classic artist, one of my favorite all time, Gil Kane.
Sure.
Blackhawk 263. I was never a reader of Blackhawk, so I never really, knew anything about the character. But I picked it up just because I love Gil Kane, and I loved the woman. I know her name, but I forget her name right now. I've always been partial to women, dark-haired women that have a strip of white hair going through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I find it really hot. Like, yeah. So, and I mean, like always, yeah. So I what's her name? Contessa Valentina,
right? Yeah.
Nick Fury's gal there, right? Like her, same thing. I love her. So any Rogue also, yeah. So, but in real life, when I see it in real life, it's like, oh yeah, that's awesome. I see it more in comics than I do in real life. That's the funny thing,
Yeah, I've only seen it a couple times in real life.
But what I really liked about it is that crazy thing that's coming barreling towards them, which they call the war wheel. And at the time I was like, I don't know what that is, but I love it. And then I did some research. I was like, oh God, it's called the war wheel. Cool. I mean, just for context, look what it's crushing. Look at the little house right underneath.
Oh yeah. Huge.
Right? Look how gigantic that thing is. So it's like, man,
this cover could easily be in the 50s.
Yeah, absolutely. Marcus, I did not re-ink this. It was one of those that actually, as I recall, unfortunately, it's a black and white. It's a photocopy, black and white photocopy. So I don't remember if maybe a few lines here and there might have been changed ink color. It might have, but I remember. I've always remembered this one as one of the rare ones that stayed black. So if there is any fading or color turning on this one, it would be just little tiny part of it. You know, a few lines, straight lines here and there, perhaps. So Dwayne Payne says, yeah, Ruben the skunk lover. Nice. That's not nice. You're calling all those women skunks. That's not nice. Oh, man, that's bad. You like Allison Sullivan. I don't know why you would bring that up. And I got to admit, I've seen her before. I don't remember quite that she had. I think isn't she a redhead? I seem to recall Allison being a redhead.
I think she is.
I said I'm partial to the dark-haired, you know, really dark-haired with the white stripe. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Pepe Le Pew. I used to love Pepe Le Pew, and every cartoon he's trying to make it with the girl cat. It's so funny. Love those cartoons. Larry Flint did a whole issue on that fetish. Really? Wow, that's wild. That is so wild. Who did I get it from? Who, the Blackhawk cover? Oh, God, I don't remember. My God. I mean, I sold it probably 20 years ago, so I may have gotten it 21 or 22 years ago, you know? Yeah, no.
Back at that time, would you pick up inventory from other collectors mostly, or would you just pick them up at shows?
I dyed her hair on purpose to have the white. Okay. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it, everybody. Yes, please keep hitting that like. I'd appreciate it. If you're here watching, there's 34 of you currently. Please just hit that thumbs up right beneath the video. You see the thumb up icon. I would really appreciate that. Certain dealers re-inked. Oh, dealers? The dealers themselves re-inked? Okay, well, I didn't. I don't re-ink. You know my stance on that. We did that with Jason. You know,
Shows back
a month ago, three weeks ago or something. So you know my stance on that. But anyways, yeah, very, very cool cover. Sorry. So the answer to your question, Jason, real quickly, I would get from anywhere, any like I used to speak to a lot of people. I used to travel to a lot of conventions too, right? Looking for art. And so, yeah, you talk, you got a network. If you wanted to, especially if you want to do it full time at the time, and you were starting with literally no inventory. I literally started I got my website. I started buying and selling on eBay. And then I built it up to like, I don't know, 18 or 20 pieces or something. I launched my first website with like, I think less than 20 pieces of art.
Wow.
You know? Yeah. So I got from dealers and from collectors, more collectors than anything though. You know, trying to do a lot more trading back in the day. It used to be easier to try to do trading, especially because when you're trying to build an inventory, okay, when you're starting from scratch and you want to build one, what do you need? You need volume more than you need high quality, big names or whatever, you know? You need volume to fill up the website as much as you can or whatever. Although I quickly changed focus and ultimately I decided I didn't like having thousands of pieces on a website because as a customer, I feel like it's overwhelming. It's like too much.
Yep. Sure.
And I ultimately said, no, so much of that stuff gets lost in the shuffle. The reason there's thousands of pieces there on a lot of dealers' websites, it's because even with a burgeoning market, it's too much. People are just kind of like, oh, you have that much inventory. Okay, you'll get more soon. So it's easier to look at it quickly and say, I don't have to go. I like that piece and that piece, but yeah, you'll probably have an update soon enough anyways. I'll wait and see what else you come up with, you know?
Right.
That's how it sort of builds and builds and builds. So I ultimately decided to say, you know what? I'm never going to have more than 300 pieces at any given time. I owned more, but I would never put more than 300 on the website, you know? I try to keep it to 2 to 250, that kind of thing, you know? But yeah, mostly. And so what I would do, it was easy to trade back then because a lot of my friends, you know, we were all going after like Marvel 70s covers at the time. Bronze Age covers were like $2,000. 1,800, 1,700, 2,500, you know? Yeah. And a lot of those guys that wanted those, I would sometimes trade them those covers for a cornucopia of, let's say, smaller, cheaper $400 covers, $250 covers, you know, $500 covers, $1,000 covers, spanning from like the 80s to present, you know? While those guys were focused on their 70s, 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 you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but in those days, for me, it was mostly collectors, one at a time, you know, just making friends and a lot of contacts and just doing it that way kind of thing, you know?
Sure.
Maybe it's about that. Okay. LOL. Don't gloss over sniping on eBay. Oh, that too. Also, Jason, he wants me to. I didn't even think about that. Sniping on eBay. That also was a thing. That also was the thing. But I never flipped. That was the thing, because I knew people would complain. Because if I get a deal, if I get a super deal, all right, it doesn't matter that I got a super deal. Most people in the hobby, they don't get the mathematics about the hobby, right? It's like if a piece is typically worth $1,000 and somebody put a buy it now for 300, right? And I snag it before anybody else does, right? I'm like, oh my God, I got $700 profit built in, right? It's free. It's like 700, it's like seven $100 bills on the floor. Are you going to pick it up? Of course you're going to pick it up, right? So the thing is, if I would put it on my site immediately, at least one person, minimum, of the people who saw me get the buy it now would go online to some website and start bitching about, did you see him flip that piece on his website? He bought that last week on eBay for only 300, right? That's what they would do. Like, it wouldn't matter the fact that it's worth 1,000. No, forget it, right? Like, to the people who are jealous that they're not the ones who stole a deal and made an easy $700 profit, they're always going to bitch and complain, right?
Right.
So it's a no-win situation. So that's why I never used to flip. I didn't listen, I was a small-time guy just starting out, all right? So I always knew people are going to complain, and I didn't want to be known as, oh, that guy. Oh, that's that guy. Every time he buys something for a great deal, then he flips it.
It's a business, right?
It is business. And, part of me feels like, people complain a lot about like Glenn, right? Glenn Brunswick, right? And he's a good guy, honestly. Personally, he's a good guy. People complain mostly about his business practices, that he'll buy something and they'll put it on his site right away, like for way more, whatever. And the thing is like the same people that complain about that, they would have been complaining about me. And he ended up being really, really hated in the hobby. And thankfully, I'm not. However, here's the thing. Part of me envies Glenn because from a business standpoint, I always knew, and I keep mentioning this. I mentioned this many times on my show. I did things that I knew would make me a lot less money. That's one of the things. That even though I stole a deal here and there, everywhere, I could have easily turned it over, made more money more quickly, and used that money to buy more art, to sell more art, right? And turn it into more inventory. But I cared too much about customer service, wanting to be respected as a seller. I didn't want people to be shooting their mouths off about me all the time online. So I chose to keep I would always keep my inventory. No matter where I bought it, I would keep it always. Like even now, I do pretty much the same thing. Even today, that's never gone away. It's never changed. I tend to keep it at least for a year before I put it out. I just so by that point, people forget and they don't remember because it hasn't been in the last month or 2 weeks or whatever.
Right.
But whatever. Yeah, exactly. Who cares? But a lot of people do care, Marcus. That's the problem. I didn't want to make friends instead of eat. But I just didn't want everybody to hate me. I just wanted to be respected as a seller. So you can come to me and I'm not going to do shady things to you. That's it. Because I knew that a lot of the dealers did little shady things here and there, whatever, by the seller, not just the art. And that's not really true though, Mark, because ultimately it's a one-of-a-kind hobby. In comics, it might be. You can wait for your favorite dealer to come up with a copy of this comic if you really don't want to give the business to that guy because you hate him. But with one of a kind, no, plenty of us, I shouldn't say us, well, plenty of us, yes, it's true. I don't include myself, really. But a lot of people in this hobby do continue to buy from dealers they can't stand. Because in the end, they feel like they're the people who usually have most of the art that they like. And they figure if I don't buy from him, I'm not going to collect anymore, right? So it doesn't matter. It shouldn't have mattered. I get it, Marcus. I get it. It shouldn't have mattered. And part of me over the years really I desperately wanted to be able to make the business grow faster and bigger, you know? And I desperately wished I could, but I just couldn't. I'm so old school. I just the whole, you know, handshake, you know, a handshake deal is a deal. It doesn't have to be on paper. That whole thing. I'm so old school. So that's it. I just couldn't get past that psychologically. I couldn't get past that psychological barrier. So, but not everybody hates you. Just some of us. I mean, thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. Okay, let's continue, shall we? Where are we here? The next piece. Killer cover, everybody. Oh gosh, I remember selling this. So Conan, Gil Kane, and Tom Palmer. Wow. Conan is Conan on the cover. I thought that was so cool. Love the Palmer inks. Pretty early in the run, you know, within the first 5 years. Yeah, I thought that was killer. And I sold this one. Actually, this is the more recent sales. I believe I sold this one in like 2005. And I hand delivered it. I remember hand delivering it to the buyer in San Diego that year. I don't know if that person still owns it. I do believe they do. But since it's not online, you know, I figure might as well leave it as unknown. But really killer cover. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. Here's the big wowzer. Yeah, like the red pearl necklace. Killer for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, really great. And I should say, just a really quick anecdote, everybody, that this piece just it just goes to show you, you know, how even sometimes doing the right thing doesn't necessarily help you, right? It could still bite you in the ass. Let me come back to you. That cover, before I sold it and delivered it to the owner in San Diego, I had agreed to sell it to someone who at the time was a guy I considered a friend in the hobby, a guy who had fairly regularly bought things from me, you know, and he asked me if he could buy it, and I think he was going to pay me, I don't know, in a week or 2 weeks or something. Like he wasn't going to pay me right away. And because we were friends, not only did I say yes, because that's the kind of guy I am, I also wasn't going to ask him for, hey, give me a little deposit. Right? As a business person, I typically would, right? And a week goes by and we both end up at New York Comic-Con. Okay. Back before it was NYCC. This was at the hotel still. I think the Hotel Pennsylvania, was it? Or whatever. One of those hotels anyways. And we get to talking and we get onto the topic of insurance. And we get to talking about insurance. I'm telling him all these stories about how, you know, you guys are so lucky in the United States. You got collectibles insurance agency. You got more than one that will easily insure collectibles, and they don't make it such a hassle. On our side of the border, nobody insures collectibles, or they will, but they tell you, you gotta go get your stuff evaluated by a professional. And when I tell them, well, yeah, that's me. That's me at the time, especially 20 years ago. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. I'm the only guy in Canada, okay, who's qualified to do that. But like, I don't have anything to prove it. How do you want me to prove that? Oh, no, sorry, you can't evaluate your own work, whatever. And even if they took my money, the stupid thing is they would give you such a small amount. Like they were like, I think like, oh, we'll do it through your home insurance and we'll give you maybe $20,000 maximum cover it. Like it was so ridiculous. Anyways, bottom line is I was telling this guy, it sucks. We can't insure our artwork, right? So when I'm taking insurance, right, if you pay me for insurance, I'm going to pay you out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's on faith. So what I basically do is when I sell bigger pieces, I don't go and blow the money until the customer has received the artwork, because if anything happens to it,
Right.
and they paid me to insure it, I'm going to give them the money back. You know,
Yeah. Wow.
no choice, right? But this guy, despite us being friends, he was so in shock that I wasn't insuring it through the post office, because I told him, yes, I can insure through the post office, but because I'm in Canada and you're in the United States, the maximum value I can insure for is the equivalent of, at the time, around $650 to $700 US.
Mm.
So it doesn't help you anyways, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't help. So I'm doing it myself. You gotta, you pay me, you have faith in me, I'm gonna pay you out if something goes wrong. That's it, you know. And this guy was so shocked that this stuff wasn't insured by some big corporation or whatever, that he reneged on the deal. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I'm not, I'm sorry. All things considered, I'm not going to be able to go through and follow through with buying the Conan cover, because he was now paranoid that I might send him this cover and, oh my God, it might get lost, it might get damaged, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I wouldn't pay him out. Like, whatever. And then when I told him off, I said that I never even asked you. I not only did I allow you to not pay for a week or two, I didn't even bother to ask you for even the tiniest down payment, you know? Right. And then he sent me 10%, which, of course, that cover back then was only worth, I think, $3,500 or $3,000 or something like that. He sent me like $300. Right? It was like, well, I'll take it, but like I typically would have asked somebody for 25% down payment minimum. Okay, but whatever. Anyway, so it just goes to show you can't you can't really trust anybody 100%. Even people you think you can trust and are your friends, even they'll stab you in the back and do things, shitty things like that to you. You know. So what I learned at that point is like, oh, people like him. There's a lot of people like him who just think, oh, I'm in it for me. I'm just going to do whatever I think is good for me. You know, I don't think you'll pay me out if anything happens, so I don't trust you anymore. It's like, what? What about all the goodwill I've built up with you over the last few years? What about that? Apparently worth nothing, you know? But anyways, Karen, I just noticed this. Such an interesting show. I hate to leave, but my kids are sick. Yeah, and I need to put them to bed early. Take care. Take care. Have a good night, Karen. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So this is what I'm saying, right? It's like you just never know. It really is a very every man for himself type hobby, right? That kind of thing, right? Anecdote that I just told. It really proves it. It really proves it. Like, all you care about is yourself. All he cared about is himself. He felt a little guilty, so he gave me the $300, right? When he should have been giving me, like $750 or whatever, right? But yeah, so people will do the wrong thing because all they care about is themselves. He was willing. Imagine that, though, how short-sighted you are. He was willing to break our relationship completely and never buy anything from me again. Just for that, like, it's so ridiculous, you know? So anyways, yeah, whatever.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's crazy. Canadians are too nice. You can't nice. Okay, everybody. This might be the first show where we don't get through everything, but let's get to the next one. The next piece is, oh, look at this one. Oh, look at that. Daredevil 115 cover. Gil Kane, Frank Giacoya, owned by Nikki B himself, who's in the chat as I show it. Wow, what are the odds? What are the odds, man? But that's really awesome. I really loved this cover at the time that I had it, especially because I just thought it was so kind of neat as a big Frank Miller fan. I should say specifically of the Frank Miller Daredevil run. I remember buying this and thinking, oh, I think that's the Deathstalker. That's the guy on the cover to Frank Miller's first issue, Daredevil 158. Right. Remember that in the graveyard? Yeah.
For sure.
I was like, oh, okay. So then I realized, oh, okay, it's his first appearance. Not that, not that it should matter. Today, apparently it matters, I guess. But yeah, just really, really fun. I like the storytelling in the piece. The fact that he's like doing a high wire act over like a boiling cauldron,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just like it's really exciting. And of course, back in the old days when even on covers you still had thought balloons, word balloons,
Yeah, it's got all sorts of cool stuff. The images of Daredevil and Black Widow up at the top by the title. It's just fun to see that kind of style again. They don't do that anymore, obviously.
Yeah. Sweet double D's. Hey, what's up, Bob? Oh my God, Bob, you're the only guy, by the way, you're the only guy. I cannot believe, I'm so pissed. At the top of the show, I showed pictures of myself with everybody who was at Jeff's house last week, except for you. You came in late, and I ended up deciding, okay, I'll when you were busy talking to somebody, that's when you were talking to Rob Gabler. And I thought, okay, I'll give you a chance to talk, and then I'll bother you for a picture later. And then I forgot to ask and get a picture with you. You're the only person I didn't get a picture of. So everybody, for those of you who might remember, way back over a year ago, in my very first episode of Comic Art Roundtable, Bob was one of my 3 Canadian. It was the all Canadian show. And the first episode, and Bob was one of my guests on that show. Good to see you. Yeah, next time for sure, Bob. Thanks for dropping in, by the way. Yes, Death Stalker 158. It's why you wanted it. Cool. Yeah, that's what makes it kind of cool. But a great image too, So Ruben wanted to do his douchey face with Bob. Oh, God. All right. From there, we're going to go to an artist who I was a big fan of. From the second wave of the Filipino school of artists, Rafael Kayanan, Daredevil. Sorry, Karen, I know you're a Daredevil fan, and I don't even know if you saw the last cover I just showed, but you're missing all the Daredevil stuff now. But yeah, Rafael Kayanan, just a quick, well, not quick. Obviously, it's a finished, penciled and inked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't remember much about the piece, but I don't even remember really selling it. I remember having it. I don't remember anything about selling it or whatever. But he was a guy who came in the early 80s and started working on Firestorm after Pat Broderick. And I was like, yeah, I like this stuff. I loved Firestorm. I was really enjoying that title, Mm-hmm. And yeah, I was like, I really like this guy's stuff. And so I started getting more into it. Yeah, Rick, definitely a killer Kayanan. And so speaking of, when I had a chance, I picked up this for inventory. Firestorm.
Very cool.
I just used to love Firestorm so much. And I don't care who drew it. I was just like, oh, I love the title. I love the character. I love the costume. It seems silly if you try to picture him in real life, but yeah, it just in comics, I just find it just works. I always love the fiery hair, and even back then, I didn't mind the baggy, floopy sleeves.
Right. It was the 80s. Weird,
but yeah, that's it. But yeah, I thought that was fun. Nice Dick Giordano inks. But yeah, again, for some reason, nowhere to be found. Don't know why something like this. Oh. There's been plenty of Firestorm covers hit the market over the last few years, but not this one. And speaking of Firestorm, they put Firestorm on TV already, did they? Oh, you mean cartoons, though? Oh, no, right. He was on the show. Yeah. Was it The Flash, I believe? Yeah, Derek, the poofy sleeves, exactly. Yeah, straight edge again. You're catching all the straight edges. First, it's the water. That's so funny. But yeah, so speaking of Firestorm, I got that one, and then also picked up this one.
Oh, wow.
That's beautiful. I mean,
yep.
Again, me and my high contrast. I love the high contrast work, right? I was like, man, that's really, really cool. And it's, again, the same team, same inker, Dick Giordano on the ink. So thought that was really cool. I know a lot of people don't usually like the hero getting blasted covers. You know, they always want the hero to be in the position of power, but it's still, you get a great image of him.
No, that's great.
Yeah. So very, very cool. Yeah, yeah, exactly. The CW, exactly. Thank you, Derek, for the confirmation there. The Flash, yeah, exactly. He's a cross between a pirate and a Carrot Top. Yeah, because Carrot Top is jacked right now. Well, he's been jacked for years, actually. But yeah, steroids, anyone? Always like this one. Yeah, absolutely, Rick. Very cool. Okay, so from there, before we hit the next one, let me give Nikki B. Hopefully, Nikki B is in attendance. First, let me tell you about the show. I'm going to put this up here, okay? You guys all know that Nick's show is always on Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. Okay, you can see it there, so you don't forget. And for those of you who may not be watching and may not know, it's a combination sales show and chat show, a talk show. And the fun thing about this coming week, okay, Nick's going to have, you know, the usual, I'm assuming, assortment of art for sale, okay? But on top of the usual assortment, and of course, Nick, please confirm that you will have the usual assortment, okay? Let me actually give you guys, oh, and you know the one for the 33? Is it you? AXP Batman Day Marathon still going? I don't know. It looked like it ended. I watched it on Rewind. And here we go. Here is the direct link to this coming Friday show. All right, this is Nikki B's show. And okay, appreciate it, Derek, for clarifying. So there's the link, everyone, to this week's show. You might want to bookmark it. If you don't already subscribe to the channel, please consider subscribing. Excellent. Nick confirms that he's going to have a nice mix. Okay, so that's also excellent. So he always has a nice little mix of art to show, right? Here's the thing, though. And I'm going to do something for you as well, Nick. Nick is also going to, Nick is going to be, let's call it auctioning, selling, but auctioning through the auction process, okay? That's the best way I can put it, I guess. So he's going to be auctioning the cover to Amazing Spider-Man number 34. And in point of fact, you know, everybody, give me a second while I grab something here. Okay. I'm going to show you something in a second. I'm going to take down the usual promo thing that I have for Nick, and check this out, everyone. This is what Nick is going to be auctioning on his channel this Friday. All right. So it's the Amazing Spider-Man number 34 cover by John Romita Jr. and Scott Hanna. And yes, you see at the bottom there on the left-hand corner, the starting bid will be indeed $1. And there is no reserve. So why is that important? You may say, oh, people do that all the time on eBay. People do that, you know, on Heritage or Comic Link. Well, yes. The thing is that all those 3 platforms on any given day get way, 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 way more people at any given moment watching than Nick's show does, right, on the Friday night. So the thing about that, for anybody wanting, if you don't normally go in and watch a show, but everybody loves getting a deal, well, the fact that it's starting at $1 without a reserve, if there's not enough people that show up that have money available to spend, then you stand a good chance of maybe putting down a bid that could steal this piece. And then whether you can either keep it if you like it, but even if you don't like it, if you end up getting this for a great deal, well, now you got a great bargaining chip that you could use to either flip to another collector, you know, trade for a lot more artwork with another collector or a dealer, what have you. You do whatever you want with it at that point. The point is, Nick is taking a huge risk here. And by taking that risk, you guys, anybody going to watch this, stands the chance of getting a bargain price on something that should be worth a lot more. You also may be saying or thinking, well, but you're telling people, well, more people are going to go. Well, yes, the point is to try to get more people to find out about the show. That's why he's really doing it. Okay, it's awareness that it's true. However, I also understand that human nature being how it is, I know that, first of all, I always tell people every week to go check out Nick's show. So there's nothing new that I'm doing here. There's also not going to be hundreds more people watching this show live or on Rewind over the next 5 days, more than usual, right? So, and with human nature being what it is, the same usual tiny percentage of people who hear me say this, right? Those of you who never go to Nick's show and don't bother to watch, there's still only a small few of you who will probably say, oh, yeah, I'll check that out. Maybe if I can steal a deal, maybe I'll check it out. So it still won't be like suddenly way more people. It's not like there's going to be hundreds of people more than likely watching. So there you go. You still have a chance to go steal a deal. And that's it. So use that link if you're not subscribed to his channel. If you're not, you should. But use that link at least bookmark it. And yeah, there you go. So I missed a bunch of, let me see, marathon lasted 18 hours and 40 minutes. Okay, your show got catching up to do. Just back and in, but theirs was purposeful. They wanted it to be a marathon. Mine wasn't supposed to be, so that's two different things. Just back in from the while, scan through quickly the show this far. Thank you. My favorite piece, by the way, is still hasn't been shown, and I think it would be your favorite too. Just so you know, Cab. Karen, I'm sorry. Okay, Karen left. She's the kids are sick and she has to put them to bed. But yeah, maybe you can email her. Hi, Nick. Tune in just to watch Nick cry. Yikes. Nick, don't auction that cover. What are you saying, Cab? He's committed. He's too late now. It's committed. And there he said he's committed. Don't worry, Nick will have a few new watching and bidding. It should be bid, Barucci. You can't trust these people. I will bid and give it back to you. Oh my God. And you're the kind of guy that would. That's what's insane. That's what's insane about it. That's funny. Great comment. Yes, no. Fair will be fair. That's it. Okay. And Nick would hold his end of the bargain and insist that Cab keep it. But anyways, it should be fun. It should be interesting. So everybody, please tune in, especially those of you who normally don't. Should be cool. So, okay. Let us jump back to the art, everyone, because we are behind. And just FYI, Cab, just so you know, my favorite piece is coming in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 more pieces. Okay, 4 more pieces. Okay, stick around at least for that if you can. One more L.E.G.I.O.N piece, everyone. And I have to tell you, despite the fact that I'm not, other than a few exceptions, I'm not a commission collector. I love this piece. I think more than any L.E.G.I.O.N piece I ever saw in my life, including all the published stuff. This is a single character commission, pencil and ink. Okay? Check this out.
Oh, that's sweet.
And I only wish I could show you the high-res scan to get you the real close-up look at the cross-hatching in the black parts of his costume.
Oh, that's great.
But I know, Jason, that you can tell, regardless, you can tell that if you saw that in person, that would blow your mind.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. That is just unbelievable. Like I said, that's why the best thing I ever seen him draw. And I wish it's one of those fun pieces where like I kind of wish I still had this, just because you know, it's just gorgeous. It wouldn't have cost me much to hang on to it, you know. So yes, very you have cool. A chance. You have a chance, Maki Poo Poo. You're welcome, Nick. You're welcome. Will it be shipped through USPS? Okay, you're still talking about that. Thanks. Anyways, L.E.G.I.O.N is a great artist. He certainly is. L.E.G.I.O.N muy caliente. L.E.G.I.O.N is underappreciated. We hired him to draw 12 Amparella covers for us. Wow.
That's cool.
Wild. Kainan does insane hair. Of course, this was a completely different style than any he had ever employed previously, too. That's what's really, really cool about it. Yeah, so amazing, fantastic detail. The single best Raphael Kainan commission I've ever seen. Yeah, Nick, like I said, to me, my favorite piece of all time, including his published stuff. So yeah, very, very cool.
That's a great piece.
Yeah, exactly. And congrats to Karim El Rafe, who is a nice guy himself, good collector. I did not sell it to him. I sold it many, many years before Karim ended up getting into the hobby. So just FYI, in case anybody's interested. Let me know if you want me to put you in touch with him. Oh, for the covers. Okay. That would be nice. All the way. I'm not a Vampy fan as such. Okay, excellent. Let us move on, everyone. Next piece. This is L.E.G.I.O.N and Mark Farmer. So, look, the truth is, in the very first episode, the two-part episode I ever did on this channel, okay, show and tell number 1 and show and tell number 2, it was showing my old Hulk collection. I did show this piece because I did own it at the time that I still had my Hulk collection, but I was really focusing more on covers and splashes. And so I quickly decided I didn't want to keep this one. And so since I sold it, I put it into my inventory quickly enough. I figure, I showed it as my collection because I had it at the time. But I figured I'd show it here again only because, like I said, I didn't have it long enough. I did flip it quick enough that, it could be considered inventory. So that's it. But I thought that this was a really great, especially the bottom image. I thought this was a great page.
Image. Yeah, the bottom image is great.
Especially for that time period. These days, this kind of thing would go like hotcakes. Like, look at Aranga. Yeah. Aranga's like, oh, man. That's gorgeous. Yeah, even in a wife beater, it's pretty sweet. I was never partial to the wife. I was never partial to the wife beater myself personally. But
I hope not.
Oh, no. I love that L.E.G.I.O.N Hulk page. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. Classic Q&A Hulk. Exactly. So there you go, everybody. All right. The next piece. And here we go. Here's one for you, Cab, and for many of you. This is not the piece, Cab. It's the piece before the piece. But still fun. Captain America 197 half splash. I just thought it was really, really fun back in the day because I was like, well, not only is it a half splash, I also love the fact that it's only a 3-panel page, very classic. It's Bronze Age, but it's very classic Silver Age panel layout where when he was always only doing 3 or 4 panels. So the panels are huge, Yeah. And then not only do you have Cap twice in full figure, but in the half splash, he's like doing what every collector tends to want. Standing there heroically, posing, facing forward, so you see every detail of the costume, and it's like, and as a bonus, you get his partner of the time, also full figure, standing right next to him. Like, and they're standing, and especially Cap, right in the middle of the panel, the splash panel. Like, that's an awesome panel page. Like, you can't get much more awesome panel pages than that if you're looking for a Cap Kirby panel page.
Yeah, plus you get the Kirby like monster villain kind of stuff, space guy in those villains off to the right on the top panel. You get the Kirby Crackle, you get all that stuff. That's great.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Yeah, Kirby Crackle, and exactly in that top panel. I loved it. Pot of gold. Yes, sir. Pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Where's Banshee when you need him? Oh, he must have been busy in Ireland. He's probably the one that dug up the gold. And Alberto has a Captain America piece of art. Do you mean, does he have this? I don't. Yeah, and I'm sure he still has it. I think he still has it. I believe it's still in his gallery. So of all nights for Alberto not to be here, it's when we show a piece that he owns, and it's a great piece. Oh well, sorry, dude, but we tried. Serves you right for missing it. Okay, so this next piece, everyone, my personal favorite of the evening. It if this was a collector's show and tell, this would have been the one that I show at the end. It would have been the final piece. But we're going in alphabetical order, so that's why it comes up now. And I believe I sold this. I want to say, gosh, this one may have been outside the norm of the 15 to 22 years ago. I'm thinking 2007. So how long is that? Is that 17 years? 15 years? Yeah, 2007 is 16 years, right? Yes. Yeah, 16 years. So, okay, it's probably within the range then. So I think it was right around then that I sold it. I think I want to say around 07. Check this out, everybody. My favorite character. So I no longer had my Hulk art collection at this point. So that's why I would not have, kept this. Check it out. So, okay, not Silver Age Kirby. And yeah, I never gave a crap about Eternals. But come on. A Kirby Hulk, full figured like that, fighting Icarus. To me, this was from the 70s Kirby stuff.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely spectacular. Some would say awesome. Yeah, I'm kind of speechless. But so apparently, John Verpoorten inked this. On the art, I found no proof of that at the time. But apparently, better minds tend to know. And I'm going to go with Verpoorten. If somebody knows something or knows otherwise, then please let us all know. So so I don't know, guys. Out of curiosity, because I don't really follow the Kirby market too closely anymore. Any guesses as to what this would sell for today? I'm just curious what you guys think. Give like a ballpark figure if you can. It's definitely a wow, man. Definitely a wow.
Yeah.
His Hulk was always huge. Yeah.
70s cover, Kirby art. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Hickory Dickory Doc, the Hulk beat his clock. Did Senior touch up his face? I don't recall. Anything's possible. But either way, I don't care. I hate. You know what? Honestly, guys, I hate it when people sell covers where you have touched up faces and the seller tries to like when you try to hype it up by saying, oh, it's a like Kirby Ramita cover, like the fact that he redrew some faces, adds value to it. Like I hate the fact that he redrew faces, so I don't value that even a penny more to me. And really, how can you really value it more? Especially if it's like the penciler is a big name penciler. If it's already Kirby, all the money is already going to be there from the Kirby anyways,
Yeah.
So definitely more than $1. Nobody seems to want to take a guess. West, haven't seen you in a while, West. Good to see you. Great cover, for sure. Naughty or nice. Wow, do you really think 6 figs? Would it hit 6 figs, really? Anybody else want to confirm whether it would go for that much? But see, because I think the Hulk's face still kind of looks Kirby-ish. It looks like he may have inked the pens or re-inked or like parts of it, but I think it still looks kind of Kirby-ish. Yeah, so who knows? I don't know. Some dealers re-inked L.E.G.I.O.N, they should get credit. Okay, well, no guesses, so that's it. We'll move on. Okay, we'll move on. And let's go to the next one. This was a piece that I had for months. Nobody gave a crap about painted artwork back then. About 20 years ago, nobody cared at all. So I had this for months because nobody gave a shit. So it's not a comic book cover. So that's another problem that it had. It's not a comic book cover. It's from a book. It's from a paperback. Yeah, so that was the other problem. Today, though, this would sell super easily and for quite a lot more money than the $1,100 I was asking for it at the time. Yeah, no idea what happened to it, though. I don't think I've seen it since, The Mixter says, I would say more in the 50 to 60 range. Yeah, see, that's what I would have.
That's.
And of course, we're talking about the Kirby Eternals cover. But yeah, it's fun, this one, in full color. You got it. Look how vibrant the colors of the paint are on the original, But yeah.
And was it that vibrant in person?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I unlike other dealers, I also always took the time with colored art. When you scan colored art, the scanner light, it changes the hues.
Right. Yeah.
And then it's a pain in the ass to use Photoshop to try to get them back to as what the actual painting looks like. Because you can get most colors almost identical, but somehow one color will be off. And if you try to play with that color too much, and you get it looking good, it makes another color look different and not accurate, So yeah. But I always spent whatever time necessary. Oftentimes I'd fiddle with this thing for like half an hour just for the colors, just to make sure that, I got as close to the present representation of the original as possible.
That's cool.
Nice in a color frame. Yes, in a color frame or color matting, right? Would you say, Marcus? Color matting would be better. Still better to have a darker frame. But here we go. Next one, everybody. So again, this was something that didn't sell off the website very quickly, and I believe today would fly on. If I dropped this on my website, I think it would be gone in the first minute. So, Spectacular Spider-Man, Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, number 83, page 15, Greg LaRocque, Jim Mooney. Nobody cares who the artists are. It's just a retelling of the Punisher's origin, And even this still took me a few weeks to sell. Okay? And it was actually a 2-page origin. Because here we get the part about, him in the military, and then the family gets wiped out by the mob, right? And then I had the follow-up page to it. And now you got great images of the Punisher, but not only that, you got one from the Daredevil 183, famous retelling 183 cover. And he's in every panel basically, in full figured images, and it's, again, retelling the origin. I mean, it wasn't, it was the secondary title, so people back in those days would be like, yeah, it's not from amazing, not amazing.
Right.
So it's like, oh, brother. So it still took me weeks to sell. Now, I bet you these 2 pages would be like, I don't know, 20 grand for the pair or something close to that. Just because it's Punisher origin. I don't know. Somebody correct me if you think I'm wrong. But I know it would be many, many, many thousands.
Yeah, for sure.
A piece, always loved Greg LaRocque Spider-Man art. Yeah, I liked him as an artist in general, even on Legion, Spider-Man, what have you. D18. Yeah, exactly. That's the one I said, Nick. Of course, the Miller one. Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, those are fun. But again, those by the way, these pages, like most pages from this series, when I had them from that era, I'd sell them for like $1.25. Those 2, I priced them at because it had Punisher and the origin. I believe I priced them at like $175. An extra $50, Got to get that premium because of the Punisher.
Yeah, throwing that big money around.
All right, from there we move to this Thor annual. Really nice. Really great Thor page. Bob Layton only did the layouts or breakdowns for this, which is why it looks like it's pure Ernie Chan pencils and inks, because Ernie Chan did the finishes, which typically means tightening up the pencils and then inking it. So, but yeah, just fabulous. Cool to have a double half splash, a vertical double half splash.
Yeah, the vertical layout's neat. I like that.
Really, really great, and just fantastic perspective in that first panel. So really, really a lot of fun. Really, really cool piece. Don't know where that is today. But yes, this is great. Absolutely. That's Berkey extra $50. Yes, LaRocque was great on Legion. Absolutely. Okay. From there, let's go straight to this. So this one was one of my earliest pieces I ever bought in 1997 on eBay. And I think it might have been my first or second piece. And I won it for the princely sum, no pun intended, the Prince of Power Hercules here for the princely sum of $33.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was one of those typical garbage photographs, really tiny, at a bad angle. You couldn't tell what the heck you were looking at. I mean, I knew what it was. I knew it was the splash page to the first issue of the second miniseries Bob Layton did. But I was like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell if it's damaged or not, or is it a photocopy? Back then, you couldn't trust anybody,
Right. Yeah. Right.
Maybe it's a photocopy. You couldn't really tell because the picture was so terrible. Yeah, exactly. The second miniseries, Rick. But yeah. I took it. I won it. It was, and this is what I'd made. I was like, oh, okay. I thought I would start collecting art regularly, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll collect art. And I bought that and another piece, a JLA piece by Dick Dillon from 1968. And I loved it all, but I realized I had too many interests, way too many interests. And there's no way I could afford it all. So I was like,
you were just like randomly picking whatever was up for on that day on eBay.
Right. Yep. I'd be like, oh, wow, look at that cool Dick Dillon page from Justice League of America with all the Green Lantern images. They're beautiful, beautiful Sid Green inks. And then I'd see this one like, oh, wow, Bob Layton splash from the second Hercules miniseries. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll bid on that too. Then I got the JLA for like 70 some odd bucks. I got this one for 33, right? But then I realized, yeah, I can't afford all this shit. I'm going to need to make some extra money to try to before I can start collecting this stuff, So I said, you know what? Let me take this stuff. Let me make a good photocopy of it. And I had a scanner, an 8.5 by 11 scanner. I scanned the photocopy and I said, that'll be nice and clear. It's black and white art anyways. People can see that. That'll be way better than the garbage photos people are posting. Plus, nobody used to even bother with descriptions. Everybody's so lazy back then. It was just like, yeah, whatever. It would be like Hercules Volume 2, number 1, page 1. That's it.
That's it.
So I just put a nice description. I thought people would appreciate the information, Yeah, I threw it back on eBay a week or two later, and it sold for like, I don't know, $110 or something. I tripled my money. I know it sounds like peanuts to you guys now.
No, yeah.
But at the time, if that's what it was worth, suddenly, okay, look what a good picture and a better description will do for you, So yeah, that's what you get. And those were the good old days. You remember those days, Cab? You remember? All right, Dan. Have a good night. Thanks for coming in. And okay, from there we go to this. This guy is actually Canadian. For those of you who don't know, The Human Fly is actually a comic that Marvel paid a licensing fee to, an actual Daredevil, a real-life Daredevil who I'd never even heard of, even though he was Canadian. I never heard of this guy because, let's be honest, in the 70s,
Evel Knievel.
If you heard of any Daredevil, it was Evel Knievel and nobody else, So kind of weird, but yeah, just kind of a fun thing. The first time I ever heard of the Human Fly was when I saw comics of the Human Fly, And I love the tagline above the logo, the wildest superhero ever because he's real. And that's how I found out, oh, this is based on some guy here in Canada. Wow,
Wow.
But yeah, another Bob Layton pencils and inks piece. Kind of funny that, of course, they have him on the cover doing a stunt. Riding on a wire. So yeah, Super Dave. I forgot about Super Dave. Super Dave Osborn. Yeah, Super Dave is Canadian. That's right. That's awesome. So there we go with that. Okay, this next cover, another one. No regrets, but I do wish I still had it. I would love to still have it. Steve Lytle, one of my favorite pieces ever, although he did tons of great classic X-Men and Legion covers. So, but still, the fact that I own this, I wish I still had it. And it's the Doom Patrol #1 cover. And here we go, the artwork.
Wow.
Black and white.
That's an incredible piece.
Yeah. And you should see his line art. I mean, those fine lines on Robot Man in the front there that you see.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. And all the little fine lines that he did everywhere, it's just incredible. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff. Loved it. And just to have the first issue. L.E.G.I.O.N only did the first 5 issues of the title as well. So to have the first one was just so cool. But again, it wasn't, it was just really out of my collecting zone at the time. And I figured, okay, I can't keep everything I love for my collection. That's why it made it so hard to be a full-time dealer too, especially starting small as I was, is because I decided to go at it full-time, right? Without a regular job to pay me a salary. Right. I didn't even want to do that. I was like, screw it. I'll take the chance. I'll just sell the art. But so just really, really beautiful. I think I know who owns this, but I don't want to say the name since I don't see it online right now. So, but yeah, gorgeous. So I really love that. One last look at the published piece. And from there, I picked up a couple of Flash covers. Picked up this one. And I loved Lytle, but at this point in his career, he began changing his style and experimenting with a more cartoonier style.
Yeah.
And more angular lines, very angular. So I was like, yeah, it's cool still, and I still recognize it as his work, but I like the old style better. And
such a clash from the last piece. Yeah,
exactly. And here, let me show you this one. Still nice. I got this other one, so 144 cover. I love this because, of course, just giant face right in your face, and high contrast. That's what I love about it. Like I said, he started changing the look a bit, and I wasn't as hot about it anymore. So I was like, okay, this was easier to put into like inventory rather than be tempted to keep it as part of my collection,
Right.
Caesar, Caesar, this one, the second one, because is it in your gallery, or do you not have it in your gallery? Because if it's not in your gallery, then that's why I wouldn't have put your name. But I checked and I did a search for every piece. And if it's in your gallery, you're looking for the 144? Oh, yeah, no, I don't know who has it, man. Okay, so you have the other one. Okay. So, the first one. Yeah, I mean, the first one's the cooler one, but they're both still cool. But yeah, man, I do you have it in your gallery? Because I did a search for every piece. I searched CAF, and if nothing comes up, no credit, right? And it didn't come up. So I don't know, maybe something with the search. The CAF search is not really the greatest anyways. So maybe that's what it is. Anyhow, just want to let you know, Jason, that I know we've hit the 2.5 hour mark 3 minutes ago, but you also may notice that we're kind of speeding through.
Yep.
And if you're cool with it, I can tell you it's less than 10 pieces to go.
I'm good.
It's about a handful.
I'm good.
We'll just finish them off. All right. So from there, the first Flash cover I own. And it's not in your gallery. Okay, thanks for confirming. That explains why I didn't see it. Okay, excellent. Okay, good. Sorry. There we go. All right, the next piece, and I believe the final piece of the Lytle. This one, another one that I wish I kind of still had. This is his typical style.
Yeah,
that's pretty phenomenal, right?
That is.
Yeah, and again,
the foreground detail is really cool too.
Oh yeah. And again, this is something that unfortunately my friend FM, it's in FM's collection. You can see it in his gallery under FM on CAF. Unfortunately, I don't know. I guess he doesn't have a scanner, so he just uses the images that the sellers provide him. And then sadly, it's a really blurry, crappy one. So you can't see, it's just not sharp at all. Super blurry, which is a shame because I wish you could see it large to look at the fine line details. It's beautiful, just stunning. Apparently not a lot of Venom fans in the audience tonight though, because no comments coming in. But that's cool. It allows us to move on. and get this show finished. Here we go. We moved on to Kevin Maguire, one of my favorites of the guys who started their careers in the late 80s. Maguire, Grummett, just a master, especially of facial expressions. And I just thought this was fun. I couldn't find this one online. I think Mickey might own this one, though, but it doesn't appear he's here tonight to confirm if he is or not. But yeah, for me, it was just I love Maguire, and it was just a chance to have Maguire in my inventory. You know, so really, really, really fun, and kind of a silly cover holding the baby. Okay, this next one. Don't even ask me why I photocopied this one back in the day. Not really sure. It's the cover to Barbed Wire, Ace of Spades, number 3. The only thing I can kind of say about it is that it's early career Doug Manka. No idea who owns it today. Like most of the pieces I've shown tonight, I have no idea who owns most of them. Most of these collectors, I'm assuming the reason we don't see them, I'm assuming that I sold them to collectors, many of whom ended up getting priced out back in the late 2000s when the prices really began to climb for the first time in a big way. I think a lot of them, dropped out. And when they did drop out, a lot of them probably figured, well, since I'm not collecting anymore anyways, I might as well not bother having an online gallery, It's the only thing that makes sense to me. That would explain why so much of the stuff that I've sold off, in the last 15, 20 years is not online anywhere,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a pretty cool piece.
Yeah, it's a cool illustration. I like it. I just, I don't know anything about it. It's all over now, baby blue. And I believe this was the what they turned into a movie, a low budget movie with Pamela Anderson, I think.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. The Maguire was cool, Nick. Can we get give me one more like, everybody. Get me 2, because apparently after the show is over, one of them goes away suspiciously. It's true. I've seen it happen. Cool design. Yes, it is, Rick. And Pamela Anderson did a movie. You're right. Okay, that's what I said. Okay. 96 around. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I believe this miniseries was from 94. And then I guess it was popular, and they did another couple of miniseries, I think in 95 and 97, or 96 and 97, something like that. All right, from there we go to the next piece, and there's, I think, 4 pieces left, everyone. And that is Todd McFarlane, Infinity Inc., number 30, page 6. This happens to be from the Crisis crossover. There was 3 Crisis crossover issues. Crisis is, for me, my favorite epic of all time in comics. My favorite sort of long-form comic book story that has tons of heroes. Even though I was a Marvel guy more than DC, that's my all-time favorite. And this was a crossover, an issue where these members of Infinity Inc. are telling the other members that the original Justice Society no longer exists because of what happened in Crisis. Yeah. So, although this is another of the common Desuniga inked pages, I was quite happy that you see McFarlane quite a bit in here. The face in the last panel, or second to last panel, the face and everything in the first panel. I find that, he was not an appropriate inker for McFarlane back then, but I think I find you still see it quite more than you often do in these Infinity Inc. pages. But so there you go, just an average Infinity Inc. page. I had other McFarlane art, but for some reason, I guess it didn't fall into that period of time when I decided to photocopy. Yeah. So from there, we go to the late 70s, and Al Milgram and Bob McLeod inks Firestorm, the original series, which only lasted 5 issues. This is the last issue, and it's the first page splash to that first issue. So a little bit of fun with that. Yeah, it's kind of fun. These days, I'm sure it would go for a few $1,000, believe it or not. It's hard for me to believe, because to me, I think this was probably like I want to say $250 piece. And not a quick sell either, So definitely, Rick.
I wonder why they chose to cut off Firestorm's head where they did.
Yeah. Why would Milgram do that? Right? Like it's just weird, but
it's an odd choice.
Kind of a weird thing, but you could have sort of, it could have been that he just, as he fleshed out the body, maybe he started with the bottom part of the body first, right? And he fleshed out the bottom part, right, is underneath at the waist, and then thought, oh man, I'm too, once he started working on the upper body, he realizes, it's gonna get, I'm not gonna be able to fit in the whole head, but screw it, I don't have time to redo this whole thing again,
Right.
So oftentimes that's all it is, right? But yeah, really fun. And yes, good point. Naughty or nice, says Jason. But, okay. From there, let us go to 2 more pages from Spectacular Spider-Man. This is, I believe, an issue previous to the one with the Punisher that I showed earlier. These are by Alan Milgram and Jim Mooney. Spectacular Spider-Man 82, inked by Jim Mooney. But again, Punisher appearance, really great with the Kingpin.
Yeah.
Literally all over the page. I mean, this again, multiple thousands. Right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, at auction. Back then, another friggin'. It's got the Punisher. So yeah, 175 instead of 125. You know, so kind of the good old days, I guess you can say. I like it. Off screen shows Hyena's power. Yeah, that's right. He's blowing him right off the page. So this is kind of cool, and of course, like the earlier 2 pages from issue 83, I got this one. So it's a consecutive. Yeah,
both of those are great pages.
2 consecutive pages. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. The Kingpin and the Punisher scrapping it out in action, every panel, back and forth over 2 pages. I would have thought, at the time I was like, I'm so happy to have these 2. One guy is going to come in and he's going to buy both of them.
I would think so.
Yeah. And instead, it took a couple of weeks and one guy bought one of them. And then it took another little while for the other page to sell. Crazy, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised because at that price and sequential pages, and
that's it.
Cool.
That's it. Thanks for rallying the likes. I appreciate it, Nick. Thank you, everybody, for doing it and remembering to do it. Really appreciate you. Remember to check into Nick's show, everyone. We are ending the show now. But please come back next week. We still have a few episodes left to show my old inventory, but we're going to take a break, and next week we are going to show, it's a show and tell with Adam Law, and he's not super well known in the community, but I'm hoping that that's an opportunity for us to get to know him a little bit more and get a bit more familiar with the kind of art that he collects. And I think it should be fun. And I love that background image, and I used it not only because I like that Doom image on the right, but also because it happened to be a page that, even though I don't believe I sold to him, I did sell it on behalf of Andrew Hennessy, who was the inker of the pages from this book. So I thought that was fun. And we'll have the standard roughly 20 piece show and tell with Adam next week, everyone. And so please come back for that. And as a reminder, everybody, let me go into the just real quick here for Nikki B, a great ambassador to our hobby. And let me give you one last time the link for next week's show, because don't forget, it's going to be the usual selling of his usual assortment of stuff, but it's going to be, look at Karen, look, aren't you a sweetheart? Look at you. Karen, by the way, I don't know if you're aware, but on YouTube, when you have to go and when you're watching like a live show and you need to go before it's over, you can just hit pause. And if you hit pause, when you come back, just hit play again. It just leaves where you left off, and it just continues. The only thing you can't do at that point, though, is if you start commenting, nobody's going to know what you're talking about, because your comments will be for pieces that were shown so long earlier ago, you know. So that's the thing. It does look like we're wrapping up. I'm so sorry. If you have time, and it seems like you have time to be here, you should check it out on Rewind, though. Be my guest, please. So yeah, everybody. So thank you very much. Oh, and by the way, you should check it out on Rewind, or at least at some point after you should skim through it, because there's some Daredevil pieces, there's Kirby art. So there's some pieces I know that you would love, and I know you would have commented on. So yeah, please feel free to check it out on Rewind. What else can I tell you? So yeah, so there you go, everybody. Nick's link to his show this coming Friday. Remember that this piece is going to be auctioned starting at $1 with no reserve, no matter how many or how few people show up. That's what he's going to do. So there's a chance, if there's not that many people who show up, more than usual, there's a chance somebody could steal this for a really undervalued price. So might be something to tune in for if you don't normally tune in to Nick's show. And if you don't, you should. So please check that out. And even though I'll be working out and doing all that kind of stuff, Nick, I'm going to do what I can to try to change up my schedule on that next Friday, just so I can try to tune in at some point, if not the whole show, because I want to see what happens with that. Maybe even give you a bid. I don't know. We'll see. That Kirby Eternals cover was amazing. Oh, were you here at that time? Oh, you just looked back. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I figured you'd love that. And there was a cat page by Kirby too. Fun show, guys. Hey, Aranga, thanks, man. Thanks for dropping in. Been a minute, man. So thank you so much. Thank you as always, Rick. Always appreciate you too.
Great, Rick.
And yeah, next time there won't be all those pictures also that I needed to I wanted to show from Jeff's house and all that. That'll save us some time. We won't talk as much at the beginning, and so it won't be 2 hours 45 minutes. Yeah. So and I'm promising that, okay? Because and I have to, because Jason has agreed to keep being my new co-host for these shows. So at least for the next couple, at any rate, and those will be. Oh, that's very sweet. Good
night, Jeff.
Good to see you again, Jeff. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you. I always miss you, not seeing you here anymore. CJ, thanks as always to you as well. Yeah, appreciate it. And Karen, the Back to the Past shows are great. Thank you. And all your shows are great. So everybody, please remember to go to Karen's pages and check out her latest video, which only dropped on Thursday. So just a few days ago, if you haven't done so yet. And please subscribe. She's almost at the magic 500, round number 500 subscriber mark. I believe 477 last I checked, something like that. So yeah, so please consider subscribing if you like her videos. And good night to you, Rich. Really appreciate you always. 18 hours and 40 minutes is possible. It is not. Since I did it for Nick, you know what? Since I did it, no, putting it on the screen ain't gonna help. But here we go. I'll just copy paste again. Okay. Here's to Karen's channel. This is the link to the latest video, so you don't have to go looking for it. The latest video. Good night, everyone. Great job tonight. Thank you, Karen. Thanks, Karen. Appreciate it.
Good night, Eternals.
And Eternals, thank you, and thanks again for telling us that you own that one piece. That was awesome, man. Really appreciate it. So, thanks everybody, and we will sign off here, and I will leave you as always with the thumbnail for next week's show. Appreciate you all. Thanks again. And that's it. Peace. We'll see you next week.